Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the MLG Pro League Season 3 coverage live from the MLG.TV arena in Columbus, Ohio. Series number 1 was a destruction of TK. Rise winning that one 4-0. Our next series is going to be Isolation versus Orbit, but the bigger thing here is I'm joined by the handsome Mr. X.
All I heard was Rise 4-0ing TK. I think I'm a firm believer in a best-of-7 format. If you get 4-0'd, you shouldn't even go down to loser bracket. Just go home.
Just leave.
Just go home. You should just leave. I think this is going to be a closer match than that.
Yeah.
I think ISO wins it, but I think it's closer.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to see a 4-0. I mean, Orbit, they have the potential, right? I mean, they just need more than one person to do something in the slaying department. Essentially what it is, right? I mean, kind of call it like it is. I mean, Happy is very good, consistent game to game. They need that other secondary player to step up and be consistent in the slaying department.
Well, we'll see if they're able to make it happen here. I had the opportunity to speak to both these teams prior to the series starting.
Somebody
Dito
from ISO is very
and his
happy.
squad, very
He's got his
confident.
hands
That's Havoc putting his
Yeah.
hands up in the air. He said he's going to get another 1v4. He immediately mentioned that 1v4 versus Optic. I think he's going to live with that for the rest of his life.
That 1v4 will never happen again. I'm sorry to bring it to you, Havoc.
Sorry to ruin your dreams, bud.
I do like this ISO squad, though. I mean, we saw them in Season 3 relegation, right? They were great there. I mean, obviously, you know, they're playing against other teams that are being relegated from the Pro League. They're not playing against the FaZe or the OGs at that event. But I still think they can hang with teams like that. I think they're very good. They play a style that you won't, like, they'll never lose games with the way they play, like, badly. Like, they'll always kind of be in it.
Yeah.
And then they just, it really comes down to the situational gunfights, right? They win 2 or 3 gunfights, it swings the game in their favor. If they win those, they can beat just about anybody. I mean, we take a look at the maps here. It's going to be a Drift Hardpoint to kick things off. Solar S&D, Uplink on Detroit, going to be game number 3, Retreat Hardpoint. Then you have Biolab, S&D, Comeback, Uplink, and then Detroit, S&D to close it out. No, you favored ISO with me in this matchup?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
You thinking the same?
Oh, for sure. And coming into this one, I mean, Bryce Facento from Orbit was joking around with his teammate TCM. TCM was taking the seat that he thought he was going to be sitting in. Obviously, players like to be comfortable in where they sit next to their teammates. It was funny.
Right.
I was joking. I was like, Bryce, are you losing full already?
When I cast last spot, I am comfortable with sitting next to Jack. So this is, we had a discussion earlier. Nah, I'm messing with you. It's good.
I'm happy to be back together.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
I think, I mean, who's the best player in this series?
Honestly, looking at these two squads coming into this one, I'm a big fan of TCM. Has he been doing enough as of late? I don't know.
You think he's the best player out of the
No, I'm a big fan of him.
I'm a big fan as well.
I think Havoc is someone who could definitely go big in this series, especially on this map. With that sub in hand, though, we saw in the last series, this was a more than AR-dominated map in Rise versus TK. We'll see what Havoc is able to get done, though, in this one with that close-range sub. Matt, I'm on board with him off the start. We'll see what he's able to get done.
And it's also pretty interesting, I think, ISO, when they made it into Season 3, I think the big question mark was, like, was Dito going to make roster changes?
Yeah.
And they've actually stuck it out. I mean, this is one of the rosters that has been together longer in Call of Duty. When you really look at the teams that are here, they're one of the rosters that has stuck through, all the adversity, right? Lamagod couldn't play in the Pro League for a little bit. They had Parasite for 6 hours. And then they, they started playing with some other players.
6 hours is generous, too.
But they've come back, and, they've had a very strong, go with this team when they're playing with this full roster. I think they beat Orbit. How far they can go, I don't know.
Well, off the start of this one, it's a 13-5 lead for the boys on Orbit. Vicento leading his team with 2 captures already. The rotation towards security is going to come in next. Some shaky shots momentarily, but he's still able to pick up that kill. The game is all knotted up. And Matt, on this map, we see the AR domination, but in that last series, the aggressive ARs of Apathy was really the difference maker, whether he was inside the hard point or pushing out the spawns. Who are you going to be looking at between these two teams to play that similar role for these squads?
Well, I think Dito. Dito's always been a fantastic AR player for Isolation, and then on the side of Orbit, I think you probably look at Happy. I mean, towards the beginning of the game when he was unaware, Happy was like a standout player Season 1, right? I mean, he's almost like a Hook of Season 1, and then he just hasn't really, gotten the opportunities that Hook has gotten since then. But I think both those players, if you look at them, I mean, Dito historically in Call of Duty has been a very good stand-up AR, but you see Orbit in control right now. You see how far ISO is spawning out. They're going to have to pinch from both sides. You see that's exactly what ISO's doing. One player, Silly, coming through that little doorway right there, going to push out these spawns now, and you're going to see Orbit start to spawn far away.
Yeah, one thing to point out, if you are just tuning in, this is a best-of-7 series. So the winner has to win 4 maps We saw just earlier on when Rise went up 3-0 in a typical tournament. Well, they take home that series and win it in a sweep. They had to win that game 4, the second hard point. Off the start of this one, though, the lead now going narrowly in favor of Orbit. The challenge, though, coming in from TCM, or sorry, in favor of ISO. Havoc now alive inside the hard point. He's 6-6 to start this game.
I love this map as a hardpoint map. I feel like there's a ton of hills that, you know, there's a few maps that we play that, you know, 2 or 3 hills really decide the entire game.
Yeah.
I feel like every hill on this map is
pulls its own
really
weight
up for contention. And
Yeah.
I think if you're actually, you know, if you do a good job kind of anchoring and slaying out the front, you can spawn teams far away. You can take good amounts of time on any hill. I think it's really a map that you can play any hill, you know, to your effect, right? You can give up time on that first one and then really lock down the spawns for hill number 2. This one, you put a good sub in the window, you have an AR out back, you're able to lock this one down for a lot of time. And even the mall, you know, a lot of teams, they struggle with that, right?
Yeah.
You can't lock that hill down. I think you put an AR up top, he looks out that big window, you have another AR probably look out the back, and then the SMGs just keep pushing out that left-hand side of the map. You're able to spawn teams out far away. I think this map is just so versatile for hardpoint. I love that we added it in.
Well, right now, Faceno doing all he can to stay alive. 2 players challenging. That's Havoc able to take him down. The break coming in from Isolation. The final player remaining is Accuracy, and he picks up that 2-piece. So, early hill control going over to Orbit, and Matt, the game has tied back up. 69 points for both teams, as Orbit now narrowly goes into the lead.
Well, this is a game Orbit's going to have to win. They're pretty much getting a great draw here at the start. You have Silly starting off 5-14 for
Triple negative.
Yeah, that's not a good score right now. And then Happy, we talked about it. He's going to pull his weight in the slaying department. He's 12-8, currently on a 3 streak. But look at the numbers you're getting out of TCM and Accuracy. With a game like this to start off, if Orbit's going to win this series, Jack, they need to take this map. They can't afford to give this one away to ISO.
Well, the trades continuing to go into Orbit's favor. Finally, they are taken down, but they're on the rotation. A big gunfight coming out of Happy. Llama's able to win that one. Challenges the second player on Snow Street. Playing very aggressively there. Not sure if that's the best decision. He did have 2 teammates flooding in from top Christmas. Hill control early on going over to the boys of Orbit. They're still up by 13.
Yeah, their lead's going to start to mount. You see TCM doing some nice shots with the bow. Absolutely destroys Havoc there. And, you know, him and Accuracy are playing so well. He is invincible right now. He cannot die. Sun's another player coming up these mid-stairs. You better not switch this off. It's going to be TCM on a 4 streak. Vicento on a 4 as well. I totally jinxed it right there. But you're starting to see Orbit pull away, and I'm a little bit shocked, Jack. I thought ISO would come out, really kind of lay the hammer down in this series. But Orbit coming out, being strong off the break. This looks like a completely different Orbit team than I've seen in the past.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Orbit finishing 1-10. That last place in the online pro league.
There's nobody who's had a worse record, I think, in the... I don't have stats in front of me. I'm just going to say it.
You're just going to say a Maven stat? This is a Maven stat.
1-10 is the worst we've ever seen in the pro league.
Of a team finishing.
Yes.
Okay, because I was going to say Epsilon definitely had a run for that one
Oh.
prior to that reset. But after the first 5 minutes of this game, it's still winnable for the boys of Isolation. But one thing that needs to be pointed out, Silly needs to step it up. Cannot afford to have one of your main AR players going 10-21. And then really, they just need to win the long-range gunfights. Right now, TCM and Accuracy have been dominating all game long in that respect.
Let's go on with Silly and see what's going wrong with him. When we were on with him just there before, you know, when you can tell when an AR player's on, right? Because he's just snapping on players and just
what
locking
TCM was
on.
doing. From
Right, what you saw with TCM. When you watch Silly right there, it looked like his shot's a little bit all over the place. So maybe he just needs to settle down a little bit, pick up some easy kills. I think, you know, when you're having a bad game, the easiest thing is, look, shooting people that aren't shooting back. I mean, right? It's as simple as that. You pick up some easy kills, you gain some confidence, teammates kind of rallying you up a little bit. Don't want to say everyone's saying let's go Silly kind of thing, but I mean, nope. It gets you pumped up.
Yeah.
And then once you start to feel a part of the game, and then the game just plays a lot easier for yourself.
And that's an actual thing. A lot of people say,
right,
it's not, like, what are my games? What if his shot's bad? No, if you begin to heat up, you start getting that confidence back, you start having a better mindset of when to challenge, when to stay back.
You just feel like a part of the game.
Exactly, and that's when you'll see players turn it around. When you have someone, in that last series, you saw 3 players of TK play very flat. They never got in that mindset, and they got 4-0'd. Rise, on the other hand, was hyped out there. Burns was yelling. You could hear Apathy yelling. Even Weeks was getting loud, and that was a big difference in that game 1. The energy of Rise was unmatched off the start of this one. It's the same thing for Orbit.
It's the same thing, I'm sure, with a lot of players at home, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when you're playing a game, regardless, you know, whether it's game battles, whether it's in, you know, ranked play, if you're not playing well, you just don't feel into the game. You're not really paying attention to what's going on, where you should be, where you should set up, what you should be trying to do in that moment of the game. So once you start to pick up some kills, it feels like everything starts to fall into place. You get that rhythm back. That's exactly what you need Silly and even Havoc to do. I mean, we haven't talked a lot about Havoc, kind of been harping on Silly a bit, but Havoc's not having a great game either. 18 and 25. You talked about him pre-game. He's going to need to play a lot better as well.
Yeah, and he's someone who we've seen be, well, inconsistent, to be quite honest with you. In the respawn game modes, he's someone who always goes big in Search and Destroy, was one of the top S&D KDs throughout the MLG Season 3 Pro League. This time around, though, off the start of this hardpoint, not winning the gunfights inside the hill. Facendo, 10 captures on a 5 streak, a 40-second lead for growing for Orb.
And that's not like a huge lead. I mean, we've talked about how bad ISO's been and how good that Orbit's been. As you see, Facendo getting an assist there, getting a kill as well, bringing his streak to 6. But this is still a manageable game, right? ISO, we saw almost Denial make that comeback on the last hill in this first one. Actually, they did make the comeback. It was Epsilon they were trying to hold off. But this is easily a game that ISO can sneak back into.
Well, Matt, I got to ask you now. Coming into this one, we both kind of thought ISO would be the team on top. Obviously, right now, they're getting dominated by 50 seconds at the moment. Did you think Orbit would be positive 20 in the slang department in this game number 1?
No. I thought this was going to be something where both teams are about even. I mean, nobody in this game or in the lobby is really like a standout Slayer that you could say, like, you put up there with the Scumps and the Attaches, players like that. I think this is going to be a who rotates better, who's forcing the spawns. S&D, it's going to be situational plays. This is going to be a close game down to the wire.
I'll point out something for you right now, Matt. Every single hill, Orbit's really been doing a better job of holding down and dominating. Right here, though, 40 uncontested
I told
seconds
you this,
for Isolation. They're now down by 15, and with that gunfight win by Silly, they can take over the lead.
And look at how far Orbit spawning out on that left-hand side. They just need to get an AR in that alley and hold it down. They don't get one over there. Dito's posted up, just didn't fight those gunfights. He's going to try and attack the hill from behind.
God.
He probably should have fought those people down the left street, but this is still a manageable game. You see guys from ISO, they're going to rotate over. Silly needs to win this gunfight. It would be huge if he does. Both players not even shooting at each other. Facento's going to team kill accuracy in the process, but they're going to be able to hold that down. That would have been huge. If ISO would have been able to win those gunfights over there, hold down this last hill, and get the first few seconds on it, would have put a lot of pressure onto Orbit, but it looks like Orbit, with a few more kills here on the players from ISO coming around the back, should be able to lock this one down.
Honestly, they played that one really well, Matt. They swapped basically all 4 players over to ARs. They locked down middle map, locked down Snow Street. This is the closest Isolation has even gotten to breaking this hard point, and all they've reached is the middle store stairs. That's going to do it for game number 1. I mentioned him prior to this game starting. Well, he went off for his team. The Salmon himself, TCM, 43, make it 45 and 34 in this game number 1, almost dropping 50 and a headshot at the end as well. TCM going off. There you can see him getting hyped.
He is hyped.
I'm the best, he just said.
And deservingly so.
Yeah.
I mean, he went off that game. And I'm going to look more deeper into the series here, Jack. Deeper into the series. He goes 46 and 34 in a respawn, right? Happy gives you 37 kills, 26 deaths, kind of silently, but you expect that out of him, right? He's playing nowhere near the hill. He's just trying to pick out kills from a distance. Do you trust TCM more accuracy to play that well on another respawn?
Well, that's what I worry about, because honestly, that's the inconsistency.
So you got one.
That's what separates, obviously, those top 4 teams from what you mentioned earlier. These squads, you see players, yes, they have a dominant game, but then they kind of just fall off for the rest of the series. One thing to point out is, in a typical game 5-game series, if a team 3-0s, you only play hardpoint once. In this, a second hardpoint is guaranteed. That's going to be retreat. We'll see. It's another AR dominant map. Is TCM gonna rock
it's a great map for him to play again, right?
Exactly.
I mean, you see his AR shot. It's on for Orbit. TCM, we're talking about him. And on the other side, for ISO, Silly, his AR is kind of all over the place. So that's a great matchup. You're going to look to see if Silly can kind of get his centering, get his snapshot on a little bit here in the next coming up maps going into that retreat hardpoint. That's going to be huge.
Well, map number 2 is going to be Solar Search and Destroy. It's the game mode that really Isolation needs to win this weekend if they want to have any chance of placing in the top 4. Do not go anywhere. When we come back, game number 2.
Mr. X, joined by the wonderful Jack Courage Dunlop. We're in a fantastic series right now. ISO, Orbit. Orbit wins game number 1.
Yeah.
Shock. At least to me.
We both thought ISO was going to take this one.
Yeah, I was pretty confident. I mean, if you would ask me like a map prediction, I would have said like this is going to be like 5-6 map series. Didn't think it was going to be too close. But now jumping into the Solar S&D, this one's a toss-up. ISO's a very good S&D team, but I think Vicento really could be the difference maker for Orbit if they're going to win this map.
Well, I got to talk to Dito prior to the series. He said that his squad was going to win this one 4-1 in map count. They need a sweep from here on out if they want to make that happen. Silly picking up first blood. Accuracy is there to answer back. The challenge coming in from TCM, continuing to play very aggressively. Dito's here putting down fire. Accuracy goes to challenge. He's last alive with both players beating to push, and he falls. Round number 1 over very quickly.
And obviously, no isolation. They're very good at baiting and switching. That's why they're able to win respawns when they don't outslay. They never outslay. I mean, their teamwork is so good. You see right here, if Dito would have lost this gunfight, his teammate would have killed him right away. They do a great job playing together, and that is huge in S&D. I mean, that alone just wins rounds. I mean, how many times do we see in Search and Destroy players not on the same page, and one person jumps out the challenge and the other person doesn't, and they let the player dash away?
Yeah.
And he's able to win like a 2v1, 3v1 scenario. So ISO, you're not going to see too many situations where that happens to them. They play right by the books. They're a great S&D team.
It's something we saw earlier on with Burns. He was able to do it on just this map, winning some 1v2 engagements that he really should have had no chance if the other team played correctly. TCM with the bomb. Beginning to check this A site. Does he spot Llama in the corner? Yes, putting some shots down. Picks up one. The challenge coming out of Dito. He's able to answer right back, almost getting away on Catwalk, but accuracy picks up the kill. It's now a 3-on-2. Gotta be up to Orbit to plant the bomb. Did
jump on with Silly though. I mean,
I
knew something like that was going to happen with the RW. Picks up a nice kill. They have to know bomb is down as well. And Havoc, he's going to be watching the back. Just a fantastic setup from the guys on ISO. How do you think the guys on Orbit are going to play this?
Well, we'll see. Silly not expecting a player to sit bottom purple with the Moors, but obviously that RW1 lethal from close range. It's a handgun. That's, well, a railgun, essentially. Pretty sick stuff here in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Havoc trying to stay alive. Going to be up to the boys of Orbit to plant the bomb yet again.
And all the guys on ISO have to do is play the bomb. They have to know at least where one player is. Vicento's going to be on bomb. They definitely heard him. Havoc going to come from behind, pick up 2, and that is such a smart play. You had Silly in the bottom. You saw Happy up on Catwalk. Yep. So you have to know, I mean, just by kind of logic, Happy is looking that way. You have to know Vicento's going to be planting on the left-hand side of the bomb. You see he readjusted to try and win that gunfight down there, got off the bomb, and just an easy win for ISO. Just great communication and teamwork in S&D thus far.
And you can even see right there, that bait and switch that you were talking about. They were all focused on killing Silly inside bottom purple. That time around, played that corner. Once Havoc began to challenge, you saw with that COD vision, Silly was about to poke back out and help kill Vicento on the bomb. A nice round win for Isolation. They're now up 2-0 in S&D, and this is kind of what we expected going into the series, man.
With ISO, you never see them do anything that you kind of question after a round, right? Like, you see them play a situation,
like,
and
was
it's never
that worth it,
and
you know?
Well, not even that. It's kind of like, what were they thinking? You know, sometimes you see teams, they do crazy stuff, and you're like, well, why would you do that at this stage of the game or in this situation? You never really get that feeling with ISO. They just play so conservative and as a team, and they just make great calls. I would love to know who their shot caller is in Search and Destroy. Just has a great feel for the game.
Well, nice kill out of accuracy. Dito playing his life. He's now 5-1. It's going to be a 2-on-2. Decides to challenge Happy while very weak. Thankfully for him, no shots coming in from the Orbit player. Dito and Silly left in the 2-on-2. The challenge coming in. The trade from TCM. It's now a 1-on-1. The players know where both of each other are. TCM just going to try to stay alive.
I mean, Dito still forces a 1v1 situation here. It's 25 seconds left. It's going to be hard for Silly. I mean, he's got to get the bomb. He's got to get this one planted down pretty soon. I love the way that TCM is playing this, though. He's just going to bank on this one bomb site, so to speak. He's going to be looking over at A. Silly has to pick up the bomb, make a play here soon, Jack. He's going to go over towards A. This should be a very easy kill for TCM to pick up. TCM actually goes out,
he got it.
Challenges it a little bit early. That scared me a little bit, but no, able to win the gunfight. It's going to put Orbit on the board. And
AW is scary, man. Like, yes, there's 3 seconds left, right? Or 4 seconds. There's no way he can plant.
Speaking of on the board, there's 2 players for Orbit still not on the board yet.
Ooh, okay. Calling them out. Calling them out.
I mean,
they're right? Any other COD game, TCM just runs away. There's no way he reaches him in time. In this one, if TCM runs away and just sits still, the movement, he can still be killed, even with only 3.5 seconds remaining. Was that the right challenge? He was able to win it, so we don't have to talk about it too much longer, but it's definitely something that could have gone very poorly for TCM if he played it a little bit more passively.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, if Silly gets that bomb down, there's only a few spots he can potentially look, or he knows he's going to get shot from.
Yeah.
So you think that would probably be one of the first 2 spots you would look, right? Up on Catwalk. You see a nade coming in from Llamagod's going to draw first blood on TCM. And Orbit's just playing this so slow.
And ISO, immediately spotting it, you could see they waited with the nades, right? They
Yeah.
saw it wasn't a full-out aggressive push. They held on, then cooked them and tossed them right over that top fans area. Is this Silly? Or no, who's this in bottom purple? It's Dito. Okay, so he's got the ASM1. Still has this exo mute. Hasn't used that as of yet. Number advantage in favor of Isolation.
Well, I
We'll
love
see if
how
that ever closes out the round.
ISO hasn't kind of stacked one side. You see Silly, I mean, at the top of your screen, just on the mini-map, you can highlight him. He's still watching B, and now they're going to start to rotate as soon as they know where the bomb is going. We see so many teams, they kind of over-rotate, right? Especially on a map like this. They see one player on offense on the A side, they just start sending everybody over, and the bomb guy, though, has managed to get behind enemy lines here. Accuracy's going to come behind one. He is going to mess that up, though, champion. 5 seconds left. He has effectively lost this round, so
Yeah.
ISO going to win that one. And Accuracy was in such a power position. He picks up that kill. He can go to... he probably
It
doesn't
would've
have
been
enough time to
close.
go
Yeah,
to
it would've been
either
close.
bomb site. Would have been really close going over to B, but he definitely would have been able to get to A. Does he get the bomb down? Llamagod might not rush it right away, thinking he's just going to pre-aim on top. So, I mean, round might have played out a little bit different, but ISO 3-1 in control.
Something to point out, all 4 players of ISO pulling their weight in this game too. Right now, Happy and Vicento, a combined 1 and 8. They need to turn things around.
Vicento's a little bit
in order not to
shocking.
come back.
You know, Happy, he doesn't have the best S&D game sometimes.
Yeah.
But Vicento shocks me a little bit from the standpoint that, you know, he was so good on S&D at COD Champs. There he's going to pick up his first kill. But just from a strategy standpoint, you know, he brings so much to a team. I expect him to really come up big here in this map number 2.
Well, Llama getting aggressive towards S2 with the bomb in hand. You can see on the minimap, though, neither of his teammates are near him at all. Looks like Dito's going to play a little bit more aggressively. Very passive play from the boys on Orbit. Just trying to cover those different bomb sites. The push towards A now begins. Dito in bottom purple. Going to have a gunfight here momentarily with TCM. TCM picks up 1. The challenge coming in. Dito able to answer right back. It's a 2-on-2. Dito and Llama up against the duo of Accuracy and Happy.
And Happy, he's going to be all the way in the back, just trying to play defense. Oh, he thought he was going to be able to pick up a kill. That's why I mentioned it. I was on with Happy, and I was like, okay, he's going to pick up 1 here, but he actually just sees that player go right by him. Accuracy going to be able to take out Llamagod. This is a round. Orbit going to win. You see Happy. He's hyped up, trying to get everybody on his team back in the game. They won that first map, and then it seemed like they just went flat.
I actually really liked that spot from Happy. You saw Dito immediately go to challenge.
He should have picked up the first kill when he was in the back.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that timing was just horrible. Because I swapped right to him. I was watching it develop.
Yeah.
I thought, you know what, here it comes. It's
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
be a quick
watching the
little
mini-map,
kill.
and
then, nope, didn't wind up happening. That's COD timing for you. 3-2 as we head into round number 6. Matt, what would you like to see from the boys on Orbit on offense to try to sneak
Well, I mean,
out an
they
offensive
just
round?
tried to really slow push. You know,
Well,
might as well go fast.
They're going to do just that.
That's exactly what they're doing. I mean, you got to try and force the issue.
You
I
can't
think.
lose that.
No, yeah, that's 2 gunfights. Silly's going to win. I mean, this is a round that's going to go in ISO's favor, barring a miraculous play right here from TCM, but he's going to drop. It's going to be a 2v1. Now ISO's going to win the round, but I felt like that was the right call in that situation. I think the way you beat a team like ISO in S&D is you force the issue, right? Like, you let them kind of set up and, you know, get that trading effectively. You let them get in those positions. They're going to win most of these rounds. I feel like Orbit needs to, I don't want to say take advantage of the fact that, because I don't think Orbit like has like better gun skill like head to head. I think both teams are about even.
Yeah.
But I think Orbit is a team that wants to force more gunfights than ISO. I think ISO wants to play a little bit more of a smarter, more methodical way. See Llama banks Nate off the wall there. I think that's the way Orbit beats them. They have to just up the tempo.
Well, off the start of this one, they're trying to stop the aggressive push from Isolation. It's already 2v3. Llama with the bomb. And something to point out is those aggressive pushes down B Street, it is so important to get that first blood in bottom energy or the fans area of that map. That time around, you saw Silly pick up 2 kills. ISO easily closed out the round. The push coming in from Llama. Dito's able to pick up 1. Who's this right? Does he not spot him? Llama still doesn't see accuracy.
What?
Llama did not see accuracy that whole time. He was right in his clear vision. That's absolutely round changing. As you can see, Dito's inside bottom fans has no idea he's there. These two players across the map are right next to each other. Oh my God, this could not be closer.
This is a very weird round. If Llama's going to pick up that one kill, let's see what accuracy decides to do. He's going to check the bomb. There is nobody there. Dito Dito gets a, I don't want to say a lucky time he played, but it's very fortunate he dropped down and looked that way. But that is a weird play. I'm surprised Llama didn't see it.
Llama was staring at him.
He could see 75% of his body.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yes, we have COD vision. Don't get me wrong. We do have COD vision that helps us be able to spot what's going on the map. But that was pretty blatant right there. He just stopped and stared right at bottom energy, was not able to spot the player. Thankfully, it did not come back to bite him. Isolation now 1 round away from tying up the series 1-1.
And this is starting to look like the ISO team that we've seen over the past few months. Yeah. The first map, Orbit just did a great job really taking it to him. You see accuracy, putting down some nice shots there to start things off. They're being aggressive again, and I like that. It's an awful spot to bring the bomb, but I like the fact they're being aggressive, but you see they're not winning any of the gunfights, Jack.
Nope.
This is going to be one that's going to go in ISO's favor. I mean, Happy wins this one. This would be unbelievable. He's not even going to be able to pick up one. ISO's going to win this one 6-2, dominating fashion. I think this map, we can really just own it up to the teamwork of ISO. They just played so good, and then Dito obviously crushed 12-4.
Dito and Llama on a combined 9 streak to end that game. From start to finish, they went off, and Vicento, outside of that 1 kill we saw him get at bottom catwalk, was not a non-factor.
It wasn't even really a meaningful kill.
Yeah, it was just kind of, all right, I won a gunfight in middle map.
And then he got traded right away.
I should do that in a pro.
He got traded right away.
So wasn't able to make anything happen off of that one. There's a look at both these squads. Isolation, though, tying back up the series 1-1. And here, Matt, is kind of what we thought. This would be a closer series. You thought it would go at least 6 games. It's showing up to be that one right now.
Uplink. Who would you favor in Uplink out of these two teams?
It's Detroit Uplink. And looking at this, I've seen Havoc do some absolutely disgusting things on this map. But will we see TCM swap over to a sub? Those are really the questions that I wonder. Coming into this one, we saw TK versus Rise in their first series on this map. No one really dominated the school area of the map like you expect. We'll see if either of these teams are able to. So you
look at the first 2 maps, and that kind of, like, whichever team can carry over the best, I think probably wins this one. I think TCM, obviously, he had a great first, hardpoint. Yeah. If he can do that again, whether they maybe put him in an ASM1 role, maybe keep him with a BAL.
Because he was doing so well with it.
Because sometimes, like, Vicento run the AR in this one, but if you have a player shooting like TCM is, you probably let him run the AR.
Oh, absolutely.
And then ISO, their teamwork looked great on that one.
Yeah.
Their teamwork was pretty good on the hardpoint. They just weren't winning those situational gun bites that, ends up resulting in them winning most of their hardpoints. If they do that on Uplink, they're going to win.
They were dominated on, 9 of the 10 hard points, and it went down to the final 30 seconds on that one. They shouldn't have been that close, but that's what you're mentioning. The teamwork of Isolation always keeps them close.
ISO wins 2 gunfights in that hardpoint.
To break that final avalanche.
And they're up 2-0.
Well, there you see it. Going into another respawn game mode, Detroit Uplink coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Let me go, and I won't ever let you go. And now I'm feeling stronger, feeling stronger. Ooh, you're never gonna let me go, and I won't ever let you go. And now I'm feeling stronger, feeling stronger. Wasting time on my own. All the places you said we go. All this pain builds within.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the continuing MLG Pro League Season 3 coverage. Matt, were you about to bring us in?
I don't know. I thought you said I should, and then you just started talking.
Whatever, man. It's miscommunications. It's because we're both just such great people. We just both want to immediately get involved in the cast. But coming into this one, game number 3, Detroit Uplink. In your mind, who takes this map?
I think ISO. You kind of compare the two things we were talking about before the commercial break. And which do I feel more confident about happening? I feel more confident that ISO is going to keep continuing that good team play. And let's go on board with Orbit, though, first. I want to see just what they're running gun-wise. Happy's going to have an AR in his hand. Accuracy's going to have an AR. So they put a sub in TCM's hands and Facento. That'll be interesting to watch because TCM was shooting lasers with that BAL. I mean, obviously he's a versatile player, but when you have a player that's doing that well with one gun, you might as well just let him stick with it.
Well, off the start of this one, Happy staying alive on top. Middle Atlas 2-0 at the start of this one. Challenges Dino as well, and that's the type of stuff you want to see from your AR player from Happy. Locking down the middle of the map, putting fire down on everyone, continuing to stay alive. Now has to back off as 2 of his teammates do wind up falling. Accuracy last alive. He's trying to get the flank on the players in Middle Atlas.
Well, I don't think anything with Happy throughout the entirety of Advanced Warfare has really been, skill-wise. I think it's been, communication and commitment with him. I think, if he can really just commit himself and, start communicating better, I would expect him to be on a top, I want to say a higher placing team throughout all of next year's game. I mean, he is just a fantastic young player. Accuracy getting off to a nice start here at 4-2. Do I think that the Orbit's going to win this one? No. I think ISO probably wins this one. As you see, they're going to have that drone, just going to play it over here, just going to try and pick up some kills. And they play Uplink so well. And Uplink has changed so much since the beginning of the game, Jack, just the way teams have been playing.
Oh, 100%. And it's been crazy to kind of see that develop, right? Even on some of the new DLC maps, like Parliament, it's drastically changed from the start.
That's an unbelievable play right there from Llama. And he's actually
going to gunfight.
Yeah, he's going to kill Happy there in the spawn as well. It's going to be ISO putting that first point on the board. You see Dito just with the AR, trying to just lock this down, make sure his team doesn't give up school control. Accuracy with the drone for about a half a second there. 2 gunfights go in ISO's favor down in the mid-street. Now I expect them to try and push up, make something happen, but Orbit with Happy and Facento doing a nice job of Accuracy, picking up 1 as well. Just fighting back, taking that map control now, trying to push the drone through school.
Love this decision from Happy. Lets his teammate pick up the drone. Facento's already alive in lockers. Oh, this is a 2-point play from the boys of Orbit. They're now on the board, still up 2-1.
Yeah, but look at mid-map though, Jack.
Oh, it's
2 players per ISO. They pick up 1 kill. This could potentially be a score. And they got fortunate. It looks like Dito's putting in some kills. TCM throws it to a teammate. Happy's got to fight this off.
Okay.
He's got players rushing him, and now the drone's picked up by Accuracy. Should just throw it out, but they're going to try and wrap this one.
It almost looks like TCM panicked there for a second, Matt. Throwing it right back to his teammate. Almost got him killed as well. Accuracy running this drone. He's weak, but he's got the help of his teammates. Heads up play. Not to go for the toss. His teammate calls it out that he's got him. Accuracy dunks that one in. It's now a 4-1 lead for Orbit. Doing a great job of starting off this game at number 3.
Happy put just enough shots in one player to have that player worried about if he was going to die or not, trying to make a play for the drone. And nope, he forced the gunfight with himself. Happy then just ran around the corner, didn't show himself, and it was an easy 2-point play.
Facento, the last line of defense momentarily for Orbit. He falls. The rest of his teammates are spawning at the back of their base. The drone being carried by Llama. He's decided to go for the 2-point play as well. Getting shot in the back, though. Happy takes him down. 1 more gunfight to win. That's Facento winning that one. So what looked like another scoring opportunity for ISO, it gets shut down as they get a little bit greedy, Matt, going for that dunk.
Yeah, that one you would like to see them put a 1-point play on the board, playing from the, quote-unquote bad side, so to speak. If they were to make this, a 1-point game going in the second half, you would favor it. And this is going to be a 2-point play right here. You see Havoc dunk it in. He's going to 1-bullet a teammate right there. That's a very fast kill right there from Havoc. Drone, though, Facento in the mid-street has 1 player to beat. What route does he decide to do? Just go for the 1-point play. He's going to throw it in. Nice play from Facento. That's a heads-up play. But if you're ISO and you take this score going in the second half, how do you feel? I think as a player, going on the good side, only down 2, I feel pretty good about it.
Oh, absolutely. And really, Happy's been insane all game long. Now 15-7, almost making it 16-7 to start this game. Do you think he's going to stay that hot all the way through? He's a big reason why his team is up right now, and they're only up by 1 possession. Another push coming in from Orbit. TCM's leading this one with the drone. He's got 2 lead blockers. They both do fall. And, well, his last teammate is all the way in middle. Atlas, he dies as well. Another good hold from Isolation.
Let's see where ISO decides to bring the drone. I think they're going to bring it through.
They favored this green side heavily.
Back alley. Yeah, they're just trying to get it up towards mid-map. 30 seconds left. I think you just try and set up for a 1. They're just trying to create so much motion on the Orbit side, trying to catch players just sprinting mid-map, pick up some easy kills before they advance it forward, but they're going to give up drone control accuracy. Up top mid, Atlas with it. He's going to get tagged up. Now he's going to drop down. Can he make a play here? 2 ISO players in the base. He's going to wrap around the Humvee, not have the teammate support, though. ISO should be able to lock this down.
See Happy trying to stay alive, trying to grab that drone. He's going to go for one last-ditch effort. 2 seconds left.
My.
Tosses it up, connects with it. Getting that 3-point lead for the boys of Orbit. I have no clue how that just happened.
Somebody from ISO just messed that up. I mean,
decided
they were
right here. Look,
yeah, there's a 1 player. He went for the melee. He was out. Okay, so I think he was out of ammo. He was out of bullets.
Yeah.
You know, dashed, tried to get the melee, and I think what happened was when he went to do the melee, the player, I think is Happy, picks up the drone at like the same exact time, and then just kind of sprints right by him.
Wow.
That's a game-changing play right there from Happy. Just, I mean, you couldn't ask for a better first half out of him.
Keep that 1 point in mind as we head into the final moments of this second half. It is only a 3-point lead, though. After they were on that preferred side, now it's going to be up to Isolation, and they have a fantastic start here already for Dead. Matt, you can already scratch up a 2-point play here. Beautiful pass, too.
Yep, it's going to be a pass and a dunk. Can they win the gunfight in the pace as well? No, TCM's going to rotate all the way back. He's going to pick up Havoc, but the drone's still in ISO's control, and Dito right there trying to go for a pass. That is unfortunate timing. I do like Orbit's decision, though. You know, go back, clear out your base, worry about the drone later. That could have got messy, though, if they didn't win those gunfights in their base.
It was set up. Dito was going to grab that drone and toss it right to his teammate inside.
They were going to pass it again, yeah.
Exactly. But Happy got a big nade kill on the player sitting in that corner.
We had a fast break opportunity here.
Llama with that drone in hand. He's got 1 player chasing behind him. Goes for the 1-point toss. Sends it up. Will it bounce in? No. That'll fall just short. No one there to get the rebound. TCM will toss it off. Still a 1-point game.
But you see mid-map controlled by the guys on Isolation, so they should be able to pick up this drone and make another play. Somebody coming on a very long flank from Orbit. If you're ISO, you run this drone down the middle of the street. You know there's got to be 1 player in the base. And Llama almost makes it around that corner. It's another player for ISO in the Orbit base, not able to win anything. And I feel like Orbit right now, Jack, you know, they're doing a nice job playing defense, but it's just a matter of time, I feel like, before ISO breaks through that.
It's like they're just staying afloat.
Right.
Like right there, TCM, yes, his stats aren't beautiful this game, 15 and 20, but he picked up the 2-piece there to stop that score from going in. Those are the things that really don't reflect when you look at the stats.
One time those gun battles don't go in their favor, and that's an ISO 2-point play.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an ISO 2-point play.
Well, time and time again, the drone has been in favor of Silly and the ISO squad. That time around getting a little bit over-eager. He had no one there in pit to pick up the player pushing from fire. If you look at the scoreboard right now, Llama consistently playing well for his team, sitting at 22 and 20. Loses that gun battle, though, versus Happy. Kills going down in the middle of the map. Matt, Happy's played electric all game long so far. You mentioned him a lot prior to this series starting up. Going big for his team here in game number 3.
But they need that other player to really go off. I mean, look, you got TCM sitting at 16-23. You got accuracy of -1. Vicento at +1. You know, on the other side, you don't really have any crazy slaying numbers either, but you're never going to get that out of ISO.
Yeah.
And I feel like ISO just relies on, you know, good teamwork, good switching. Orbit's a team that you're going to need to kill. Like, they have good teamwork, but it's not nearly as good as, you know, ISO's. And I think they need that other player to really step up. The fantastic route picked off right away, though, by TCM. He has come up with some big defensive plays. I feel like we've said his name 2 or 3 times there with defensive stance. He's going to pick up the drone. He has an opportunity to get a 1-point play here.
Oh, TCM, well, that was
a little short.
Will he be able to get the dunk? No. So there's another example of 1 point that if they can't score right here, that doesn't go in their favor. It's game-changing. They're trying to clear out their base. Vicento's the last player trying to challenge. The drone resets in 1 second. They did get the kill, but
Happy not able to make it towards the drone.
Isn't able to make it there in time. Llama's going to grab this one. Now he's got an opportunity to go for a fast bake. Sneaks past 2 players on Orbit. Matt, this game's getting crazy.
Yeah, this game is just breaking down, Jack. You can see
oh my gosh.
There are just players everywhere. Nobody's really trying to set up or make anything happen from a team game perspective. You see how many kills are just being traded here in the middle of the map. There's 1 player coming through the back alley for ISO that can maybe make a play silly, he's going to be traded as well.
Wow.
I think the team that sets up and kind of regains composure and control a little bit is going to end up winning this one.
So we saw a missed 1-point play there from Orbit.
Yes.
But then at the end of that first half, we saw a 1-point play that really shouldn't have happened from Happy. Right here, it's still a 6-5 game. Still, anyone can take this one home. Isolation, though, needs to win some gunfights, especially in middle map and school, if they want to get these final couple of points in with 70 seconds remaining, Matt. Do you see the comeback happening?
You know, I like the patience they were using there at Mid-Atlas, setting up for the drone, but they just were not able to win any gunfights. They're going to need to pick up a big kill here on Facendo, and he's going to just make a nice play, moving around the statue to pick up a 2-point play, and that one might have put it in the bag for Orbit.
Yeah, you're going to see them now try to play for this reset. They know, hey, we don't need to try to force any points in. Let's keep map control in our favor. It doesn't mean to just play defense. It means to control middle map and keep resetting it. They're going to do just that. Vicento will gladly grab this one and toss it right on top of Garage.
I think they wait a little bit.
Yeah, they're going to hold on to it. Once his lead blocker dies, he's going to toss it out, gets the beat down on Silly, adding insult to injury. There's the Vicento you know and love after a 1-8 performance on S&D, bouncing back here, sitting at 28.
I think you could even bring it back to your own base. That's the spot you would want to bring the drone back to, right? You bring it back to your own base, you throw it out, then they have to go all the way back to mid-map. I mean, basically turn their back towards you. Silly with the drone, just trying to pad his stats a little bit. They got it. Yeah, they don't have enough time to get it.
Yeah, it's going to reset. Yep. Yes, they can try to go for a 1-point play. The only thing I can
This would be the craziest thing I've ever seen. Nothing.
Toss it over the whole school.
Yep.
Smart play, but not enough. And you saw once Isolation got control of school and won a couple gunfights, Dito was the lead blocker. They were able to dunk it in, but with 10 seconds remaining, and you're down by 3. Sorry, it's not that you're digging yourself in too little of a hole.
The difference is for me, Orbit, why they end up winning this one. Obviously, Happy goes off 31-19 in the slaying department, but there were some plays where Orbit was right at the doorstep, right about to score. And how many times did we say, TCM's name? I mean, 2, 3 times, made some really clutch defensive stands.
1 point difference.
And a happy throw.
That happy throw, we mentioned it. It's somebody
those
keep in
two
mind.
guys, I mean, the entire series thus
moment.
far for Orbit, really, leading them to
and Happy's played
potentially
his role.
be an upset, I would say.
Yeah, Happy's played his role really well so far in the series. Game number 1, 0 captures, no defense, but it was because the entire game he was sitting with that AR.
That's what you want from him.
And exactly,
you don't want him
role
in the
very
hill.
well. And exactly, that's what I'm pointing out.
Yeah.
Right there, his 1 point was that clutch play, playing the objective when he needs to. His team's able to take that one home. Do not go anywhere. Game number 4, one of my favorite maps. Retreat Hardpoint. Up next.
Welcome back. Looks like we may have a little bit of a potential
series.
upset on our hands. I would call it an upset.
Yeah.
Got Orbit 2-1 currently over Isolation Empire. I mean, Mr. X joined by the wonderful Jack. Going into retreat Hardpoint, what do you expect? I mean, I was completely wrong on my call that one. I thought ISO's teamwork was going to prevail over the slaying or the potential slaying, who was going to do what for Orbit. But man, that kind of throws a loop in what I would think in this respawn. I think, you got to look at Silly's AR. I would kind of say that again, right? That first respawn, his AR was not very good. Going to need him to really step up on retreat because this is an AR-dominated map.
Something to point out is 3 ARs off the start for the boys of Isolation.
That's
a 2-2 setup for Orbit. Typically, when you have the 3 AR setup, you dominate this first hardpoint off the start. They're doing a fantastic job of winning long-range gunfights. Llama inside the hardpoint for his team. They get the first 10 seconds on the board, but dies to the hands of TCM.
I was going to say on this map, Jack, I think you can run 3 ARs.
Oh,
I think 3 ARs is probably the right setup for most of the game. I think maybe the last hill, you want an extra submachine gun to put some pressure. Really, I think those ARs dominate this map. Your SMG player really just kind of leaving him in the hill, maybe to try and fight one or two players off. Yeah, I mean, just like this, right? He just needs to just sit back, watch his ARs pick up players, and then win 1 or 2 gunfights.
Well, Matt, this is what I'll point out. I called in the last series, Rise versus TK. TK ran the 2-2 setup. Rise ran the 3-1 with 3 ARs, and they literally had the exact same score. They were up about 26-5 heading into that second hard point, and Dito is just locking down this bottom lobby area. He actually gets juked by the player who hopped top dub. 34-5 the lead at the moment. Isolation with a great start to game number 4.
It's the sightlines on the map, Jack. It's a lot easier to force long-range gun battles on this map than it is a map like, let's just say like Biolab or even Drift, right? I mean, those are 2 really fast-paced maps. I mean, you look at the choke points just for this hill in particular, right? Poolside. It's an AR-dominated spot. This back area where you see Happy, I have him highlighted on the minimap, that's an AR-dominated position as well. There are not too many SMG power positions on this map where your ARs really can take advantage of those long-range gunfights, and this is where having a great submachine gun player really comes up big. Having like an Attach or a Zuma who can outgun an AR at range. A guy like Scump, obviously, who can play any position with an SMG and make it viable. And I think neither of the teams have like a dominant SMG player, but there are a bunch of good AR players on both sides, so this one should get interesting.
Let me ask you here, Matt, because right now, Orbit down by 10, trying to mount that comeback. They have TCM running a sub. We saw him dominate in the first hard point with his AR. Do you agree with that decision off the start of this one, or would you like to see a similar 3 AR setup from Orbit?
He's doing well.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see him have the AR in his hands. I mean, after what we saw game 1, I mean, how could you not go back to it? If I'm Orbit, I'm more worried about Happy. 6 and 7. You're not going to win. The way this team is constructed, you're not going to win games when he isn't on fire, or at least putting up 35 plus kills in respawn. So he's really going to need to start going off here soon if Orbit's going to hold on to this lead. I know it's tied, but still, just looking forward in the game, you're going to need Happy to really turn things around.
Something to point out, going into this next hill, you'll probably see the 3 ARs of Isolation really begin to heat up on the bottom dirt area of the map. Also going to be key is who flanks from that top courtyard area over through bottom dub to try to catch the opposing team off guard. Rotation in favor of Isolation. Dito going to push this one out. Love the play call.
I mean, ISO just wins every gunfight on rotation there.
Yeah.
I mean, towards the end of that hill, they were not doing a good job locking it down. They go on the rotation. 4 gunfights go in their favor, and look at how much time they're getting at the beginning of this hill. Orbit cannot break. This is not a good sign for Orbit.
Here's the flank coming in from Dito. He pulls the attention of 2 players towards that dub stairs area, and that's let Silly pick up the 2-piece. The challenge coming in, Dito picks it up as well. Another great break from Isolation.
You can tell Dito's a veteran player as well.
Yep.
He doesn't force the issue, right? So he gets behind, he picks up 1 kill. A lot of players would have pushed the hill or pushed straight down right away. He just made his presence known up top behind, and that made the guys on Orbit so hesitant to push down into the hill that he was able to pick up 1 from behind really easy and then lock it down. There was no reason for him to jump down right away. Just a smart heads-up play from Dito.
He's not making insane hero plays. Like, he's not going for the hero flashy 3-piece.
Orbit got no time on this hill, by the way.
Yeah, literally did not get a single second there. Played it more methodically, as you mentioned. Picked up the kills, shooting his opponents in the back. We said it earlier in this series, the best kills in this game are when your opponents aren't shooting back at you. It's what gives you a confidence boost. Dito here yet again, the stun throwing him a little bit off there. But Isolation with a 40-second lead. We'll see if they're able to break the setup.
Well, this is a map too, Jack, that it's a lot easier to lock down these hills because of the AR dominance, right? It's a pretty, I don't want to say easy, but it's a lot easier for an AR player to just post up and kill players just sprinting at him or trying to jump over pool wall, let's say.
There's a reason Formal's pretty good at this.
Yeah, there's a reason, you know, Formal and Clayster are pretty good at this map. I mean, it is just like shooting ducks for players like that. And I think you know, you get control of these hills early, you rotate early. Plays like the most like a Black Ops 2 map. You see a 9 streak from Happy. We said he had to pick things up. Definitely starting to. Can he make it 10? Totally jinxed him right there. But just with this one hill, you see Orbit's going to control pretty much the entire hill as well, putting themselves right back into this match. That's a huge team play from Orbit, able to lock that down.
Let's think about a couple things here. ISO goes up by about 45 seconds. Happy, who's played slow, goes on a 9 streak. The game is almost tied back up now. The first time around, though, on this hard point, it was all isolation. We'll see if Orbit can get some time in their favor. Off the start of this one, they're doing much better, and it's because of the AR of accuracy.
Yeah, and Vicento's doing a great job. 23 and 16 with the SMG. 10 caps, and he is just playing so confident right now. You see challenging everything, just looking for opponents, trying to push out every possible thing he can. He's going to jump up top, can't pick up another. It's going to be hill control still in favor of Orbit. So Orbit getting a little bit of a lead here now. Can they mount it a little bit more going into that turtle statue hill? That's what you're looking to, because they don't have the spawns for that right now, Jack. They're going to need to rotate a little bit earlier, or at least fight for those spawns, or else they're going to give up all this time right back to ISO.
Oh, absolutely. TCM decided to challenge this hardpoint one more time and then push through bottom lobby. The setup, though, they're already for isolation. You'd like to see one get to this backstairs area. Llama knows that's the weak part in the setup. He immediately begins to Semtex it out. The push coming in from Havoc. He trades 1 kill. Llama knows there's at least 1 player pushing from there. That's TCM, who had a sub. Easy gunfight win.
They're going to make all the time back up.
Yeah, they're going to
because Orbit didn't rotate at all. I mean, they didn't send anybody. ISO's going to make up all this time. Accuracy and Vicento trying to fight back, though. Accuracy is going to drop. See Vicento trying to push down the back stairs. This is a huge gunfight. He's able to win it. Has another player directly to his right. It's going to be ISO winning a few more gunfights.
Look at how scrappy this
taking the lead. I think if there's one hill you take the rest of this time on, it's this one. I think you can afford to just play the next hill a little bit scrappy. You can afford to just kind of trade time in lobby because it's really easy to contest. I think if you're ISO, you take the rest of this hill. You kind of play for contests, try and get a 10-point lead going into hill number 4. And then you're in a great spot to extend it because he did a great job locking it down last time. But Orbit will not go away, Jack, bringing it within 2 points now of isolation.
Love that play from Dito. Decides to hop in the hard point, reveals his position, and then dies in that gun battle. That spawns a top rock area with that AR. With the help of his teammate there, I believe that's Silly who set up in that area. They should lock it down, but ECM gets aggressive with that sub, and there's an example of when the 2-sub setup works in your favor. When you can push out areas and play much more aggressively for those up-close engagements. But Matt, the bigger thing here to point out in this game, 5 seconds separating these 2 teams.
Yeah, I mean, both teams have been playing really perfectly. I mean, you can't really fault one team. I mean, I guess you would kind of fault Orbit for not rotating a little bit earlier for that second hill, the second rotation. But I think both teams really playing this one well, and it's going to be ISO starting to pull away a little bit, Jack. And I'd be worried if I'm Orbit because you did not rotate early to the 4th hill last time. Did they make the same mistake this one? If they do, it's going to be game by the time we leave that hill.
Oh, 2 minutes remaining. They're down by about 25 seconds. The rest of the scrap time for this hard point is going to go in favor of isolation. The rotation in favor of Orbit, but these first entry kills are going to be so key, and right now Havoc is getting so aggressive. He's the first body inside the hard point. He does fall, though. Happy doing all he can to stay alive on a 2 streak.
You can see on the mini-map, though, the pinch is coming in. There's one player from Orbit who pinched from all the way on that backside. It's actually Silly.
4 straight kills.
Now 4 straight kills go in favor of ISO. That is exactly what they wanted. And, it's kind of simple and routine. But, Jack, when you want to break a hard point, you have to pinch from both sides. When you're rotating, flood it as a team from one way. We see so many teams kind of mess that process up. And I think Dito, really a veteran, was a big-time player, Black Ops 2. Going to be looking at him really guiding this ISO team on how to play hardpoint, doing a fantastic job.
There's really only 1 or 2 teams in the entire game that can get away with sometimes just trying to break a hardpoint based off of just like gun skill, and that's Optic Gaming and FaZe. And they've even had to adapt.
If you're going to model your team's hardpoint play after either of those teams,
better be able
you're not going to win many hardpoints
Yeah.
because those teams are just fortunate, right? They have 4 guys on each team that can just run into a hill and pick up 3 players right away, right? How many teams have that? I mean, there's only realistically, there's only 2. And I think if you try and model that style of play, it's not going to work out for your team. I think Orbit definitely, not Orbit, I think ISO definitely has the right way to play Hardpoint. They just play every game mode so well as a team, just know when to pinch, know when to flood. Just fantastic teamwork. This one's still not technically over though, Jack.
Shout out to Silly, man. On a 4 streak, if he kills this player into the hard point, he just won his team the game. Happy trying to stay alive. 16 seconds remaining. He's staying alive into the hard point. He needs help from his teammates, though. He does fall. That's going to do it with the contest out of Dito. Great game from Isolation. They're able to tie up the series 2-2. And Matt, there's an example. They did slay a little bit in that game, yes. It was much more even. But even there, it's not like they're dominating their opponents in the slaying department. They just do a better job of trading inside the hard point. They were able to close out that game 187 to 172.
Yeah, I mean, ISO just does a better job of trading and rotating. That's really the difference. I mean, Vicento played out of his mind. 14 caps, 42 and 34. Fantastic game for an SMG player on retreat. I mean, you couldn't ask for better stats than that. On the other side for ISO, I believe it was Silly, 41 and 32. Llama 38 and 36 for an SMG. Dito playing well as always. It's going to be ISO winning that one.
Matt, we said prior to the series starting up, we can definitely see it going 6 games.
This is going to be
guaranteed that much up to this point. That is an example of a player going off. Vicento leading his team and basically the game in every statistical category.
Not a win.
Yeah, oh, I know. I'm just saying, like, he went off, but the rest of his team wasn't there to help him out. He did all he could.
I mean, we can take a look at the stats real quick. You know, you had TCM 34 and 43. You know, you probably would like to have an AR in his hand with how hot he shot earlier. I mean, Happy 32 and 34. I mean, you need him to be the main slayer for this team, right? But I mean, everybody has a game. They're just not going to be able to carry the load, and that's what's scary about Orbit in Respawn. It's like if Happy doesn't go off, even if they get good games out of other people, they don't really win. So it's going to be interesting going forward in the tournament how they kind of figure things out. I think putting the AR back in TCM's hands helps a lot.
Well, we'll see where it goes from here. Our next game going to be Search and Destroy Biolab up next after this quick commercial break. The series is all tied up 2-2 as we head into Game 5. Remember, this is a best of 7, so this S&D it's not it. There's going to be one more if it goes all the way to Game 7.
But that next one's a Uplink.
Yes,
it's going to be a comeback Uplink.
Comeback, and then Detroit S&D to close out the series if it goes the distance.
I think if ISO wins this one, I think they have a good chance closing it out and come back.
ISO has already won one Search and Destroy.
Yeah.
Come back, a map that they can definitely win. If Silly continues to shoot as well as he did in that last respawn game mode, you've got to expect him to win this series.
It's like Silly and TCM switch bodies after game 1.
I'm staying on board with him. He's got the Moors at the start of this one. There's a look at the map we're playing. If we hop on board with Silly, though, he's going to get over to top blue and watch over the push towards green. But look at the 4 players of Isolation all pushing towards this side.
And they're just going to flood it. It looks like they're just going to try and see if the guys on orbit were going to hit it right away, and they don't. And now going to back up. Llama God's going to have at least one easy kill in front of him, but still, that is enough to disrupt the offensive pressure of Orbit. This one should be around that ISO wins. That is not a good challenge right there from Silly, though, by any stretch of the imagination. Jumps out in the middle of nowhere. And this is a round that you can say, remember on Solar where I said you don't see too many bad plays out of ISO in S&D? That's a weird challenge right there.
Yeah, that was definitely questionable to say the least. Round number 1 going in favor of Orbit. Matt, who's the player who picked up the 2 kills with the AR? It's TCM. You saw how fast Silly died with that Moors. TCM double jumping through the air, challenging over that green area. Picks up the kill in quick and easy 5 shots.
Well, there really wasn't a reason for Silly to challenge that.
Yeah,
it's
he
a
just
3-on-3
he got
even in
very
that
aggressive
situation.
with that Moors.
You knew they were going to push over towards that A bomb site. You had an easy kill if you would have just waited, I think, a little bit. They would have had to eventually push out on a bomb.
Yeah, well, didn't go in their favor. One of those questionable decisions that definitely hurt them in that round number 1. TCM just sitting right outside of purple. Typically, this is a spot that is checked. We'll see if the boys of Isolation do it. We know they're a very strong S&D team. Typically, they would.
Lots of nades coming in from both sides here.
Who's this down? Who's down low? That's Vicento down low. TCM pushes in towards the bomb site. He dies to the hands of Silly. First blood going over to Isolation. Vicento with this Moors. Spots Silly top purple. Decides to just play his life.
Yeah, it's going to be the guys on ISO in complete control of purple. Vicento almost rips a wig right there. Looks like Llama, though, going to be able to get the bomb down. There's one player. It's going to be Accuracy making some noise as well. Vicento picks up a snipe. So now a 2v3 situation. Orbit trying to take a 2-0 lead here in S&D on Biolab. That would be a great start for Orbit. I mean, obviously, the first S&D didn't go in their favor at all. To start this one off a little bit better would be huge. And there it is. Going to be Orbit going to win round number 2. Putting the pressure on ISO to win one of these next rounds.
Yeah, right now it just kind of seems like the Isolation setups are not really paying off for what we've seen so far. Obviously, that time around, they got a little bit aggressive towards purple, a little bit of a slower push, waiting for those nades to die down. They got picked off twice in that round by Vicento with that Moors. Great stuff from Bryce to make his presence known on the map.
Going into this round, I think all the pressure's on ISO, Jack. I mean, down 2-0 rounds. We've seen, it's the clips from Champs, right? Vicento gets all types of hyped up, picking up some nice snipes. He's going to actually spot one. Doesn't pick him up. He's going to have another crack at it. Doesn't get him as well with the second shot. But I think if Orbit starts to gain momentum, they're a team that, Happy can get hyped up, Vicento can get hyped up, and it just kind of builds a freight train a little bit. And this one could be, lopsided like the way we saw the first S&D, but the other way around in Orbit's favor.
At the start of this one, very passive play from either of these two teams. Is this something you would agree with from Orbit, Matt, to kind of slow down the pace of the game, or do you think they kind of continue to press the issue against Isolation?
Well, I mean, they have some rounds to try some different things, right? I mean, in essence, if the score got to tie, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I think right now you have ISO on the ropes. I think this is a round that you try something a little bit different. Try and make a play, and it looks like one player through ice is going to be the one who's going to try and do it. It was Vicento, and he is taken out, so it's going to be ISO with a 4-3 man advantage here. But as I say that, TCM takes out Dito right away. Havoc's going to have to retreat all the way back through ice. Accuracy trying to get bombed down. Has some good coverage. Should be able to do so.
Trophy system, though, on the bomb. They did toss a nade there, but the trophy system was activated. Now the push coming out of Havoc. Spots one player, top green hut. The challenge coming from Llama. Picks up one, spins on Accuracy, and gets the second. That's going to leave TCM in the 1-on-3. Silly's bottom green. He's going to have to check this bomb, though. Doesn't win the gunfight. Silly picks up another kill. Oh, and he's giving him the bags as well, trying to get the pick.
He's doing some unfriendly things to that guy.
Yeah, that is not fun.
You can have the best setup in the world. But if you let one player come and do what Llama God did to you, it doesn't matter how you're set up. Right there, Orbit was in great position, right? They get the bomb down. Vicento tried to make a play through ice. They were able to actually recover from that, right? The 4v3, they early get a 3v3 man advantage. And at that point, though, Llama God just makes an amazing play. Able to, I don't want to say single-handedly win the round for ISO, but definitely swung it heavily in their favor. And you see Happy and Accuracy picking up 2 kills right away for Orbit. So Orbit trying to take this round right away, and they are very aggressive, Jack. They take this one, going to go up 3-1.
Yeah, you can see kind of the play developing there. 3 players of Orbit setting up on that bomb site. Vicento, yes, he did miss his shots, but he had the call-outs for his teammates. Here's Accuracy closing that one out. He remains the top scorer on his team in this game at number 5. Isolation back down by 2 rounds.
And what do you think ISO decides to do on defense? Do you think they decide to stack that one bomb site like we saw, or you think they decide to go back to a little bit more passive, spread out defense? I mean, we're going to see it right here off the break.
Yeah, it looks like they're doing more of a even setup. They have one player push right into purple, try to catch one player off guard middle map. That's Havoc who has to play his life, almost gets taken out. But outside of Havoc getting aggressive towards a B bomb site in purple momentarily, looks like they're going to play a little bit more passively. Try to spot a player flanking through ice. That's Dito's only job here at the moment. But unfortunately for him, 4 players of Orbit are now beginning to push in towards B. Let's see who the trades go in favor of.
And I like the play by Orbit to go over towards B. I mean, I feel like they put so much pressure on A that, you know, this just makes a little bit of sense, trying to catch ISO off guard. Havoc has a lot of players around him. He has no idea what to do. He's going to challenge. He's going to win a gunfight. Dito as well. Those two are going to be traded. It's going to be TCM and Happy alive against Llama and Dito. Dito playing so silently, just trying to play his life. Look at the play from Llama. He's coming all the way on the flank, Jack. He could potentially make a play as long as Dito stays alive.
Dito, did he spot the player bottom snow?
Yeah.
He is able to pick up TCM. They should have an idea
No,
of where Happy is. He's just trying to stay near that bomb. Dito comes in for the challenge. Happy missing some shots. He's giving his position yet again. The challenge coming in perfectly played from Isolation. They both double jump up there at once. Didn't body stack. They darted off to the 2 different sides, making sure that no matter what happened, they had that kill traded.
Yeah, I mean, you saw Llama come from the flank to just jump up and trade that with Dito. Get 2 players right in Happy's face. Happy was not going to win that gunfight unless both those players missed a ton of shots. And ISO trying to claw their way back into this one, Jack. I feel like this one is like, I feel like Orbit's had a lot more control on this S&D, but ISO just won't go away for whatever reason.
They're a scrappy team, Isolation.
They are.
They just continue to somehow stay in games that you kind of think of any other team to be out of. Right here, though, TCM in that very popular position right outside purple. He's leading his team in kills right now, sitting at 6 and 4.
It's the 2nd or 3rd round he's played that spot, though.
Yeah, but I don't know if they've spotted him here as of yet. They did have him one time just rushing towards purple, kind of like what he's doing here, where he at least caused a distraction. Beautiful stun grenade there. Gets the lucky bounce. It lands right on the opposing players, putting some more shots down, weakening more players, continuing
doing
to
a
do
great
that.
job dodging nades, I tell you that.
Yeah, he's just trying to be a distraction. Their accuracy, he's able to pick up first blood. You can see the assist coming in. Llama just destroyed accuracy though at bottom ice, but look at TCM, man. Making plays happen. The Salmon itself just can't be taken down. Now 8 and 4, double positive. The challenge coming in from Llama. He's still alive at this 1-on-2.
And he knows Vicento had the sniper rifle, trying to stay alive and get out. Llama on a 3 streak. Can he clutch this one? This would be huge. And he knows at least, you know, Vicento has the sniper rifle in his hand. So if he sees him again and Vicento misses a shot, I expect him to challenge. And I like the way they've switched this up. Vicento going to be able to take out Llama if he went for that plan on the other side. Can Happy finish this kill off? He's going to have to reload, and Vicento drops him right as the bomb goes down. All they have to do is defuse now. It's going to be a round in Orbit's favor, but that one was not easy by any stretch of the imagination, Jack.
Llama doing a great job of trying to get that bomb planted. He knew that, well, he had to get that down or else the round would have just been over due to the time constraints. Vicento adjusting his positioning, hitting the double jump shot through the window again. That's the 2nd time he's done that this game. Orbit now up 4-2, and Matt, it seems like every time ISO's on the cusp of bringing this game back, Orbit just closes out another round. I'm hopping on board with TCM to see if he can continue to dominate this game 5.
I like to see them just hit A real hard, just push straight through, and it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. I think they challenge this one player up top right away, and they try and get bombed down, and they're going to give up one player, and they're not going to push up, get bombed down. They're going to give up 2 players. This one's going to go fast in favor of ISO, and I don't like the way they kind of push it. I thought if they challenge that first player up top, everybody needs to go right away.
Yeah.
I don't think you leave a guy back to watch the flank if you're going to hit a bomb site really fast. I think that's kind of like pointless. Defeats the purpose, but hey, Vicento.
Oh, no. Oh, no. He thought the player was dead, stopped shooting, and tried to run away because he was in one of those
Even
positions.
I thought he was dead. I was about to say if Vicento picks up another one, this could get interesting,
Look at how
but
silly he was.
he does not
But
pick
in that
him up.
position, right there, he knows it's a 1-on-3. He has to pick up that kill and run away as soon as possible, or else the trade comes in. They're getting a little bit ahead of himself. It's almost like in baseball when a player takes his eyes off the ball when going for a pop fly catch and just misses it completely.
Yeah.
That's kind of the similar situation right there. Well, ISO back down by 1 round. It's been so back and forth. Can they make the breakthrough happen and tie up the game 4-4?
And Orbit's going to put pressure on
They
A.
have
They're
full control of purple.
They're going to go on a 3-man flank, it looks like. There's one player from Orbit. I bet you that's Vicento. Or actually, it's going to be Happy. Watching just over on purple. He's going to be able to pick up one. So it seems like ISO knows how Orbit's going to play this one, and they are thinking about rotating all this over to A. But now I feel like they're stuck in the worst part of the map to be on offense.
Oh, yeah, they're just trapped in this blue area.
Yeah.
Silly, obviously, in the power position, top green rails, but right now, no one even in position to challenge him. Got to give a shout-out to Happy on his positioning through that entire round. He got the call out from his teammates that no one was in red, began to pull back from blue, picked up that first blood for his team, and now is sitting at the A site with a teammate. It's going to be a three-man ISO push. Llama 10-4 with 2 players.
The issue is that regardless of which site that ISO pushes, they know they're going to get pinched. Yeah. So they have to win both of these gunfights pretty much flawlessly and right away before the other two players of Orbit come in right away. Llama's going to be able to take out Happy, and Llama's going to win another one against Vicento. Can he get the bomb down in time? It's going to be a 2v2 situation. Dito, he's going to be behind Llama, just putting down some shots. Llama God going to get the bomb down. This would be a huge round win for ISO, and Dito's going to win a gunfight. Can he win a second one? It's going to be a TCM versus Llama in a 1v1 situation.
Spotted him. And there's still a lot of time in this round.
Yeah.
What is he doing? Llama just chucking towards the bomb. He had to check it. TCM read him like a book. And Matt, there's another example. That kill puts ISO back in this game. It's tied up 4-4. They're back on defense.
And I think ISO wins that round, and they have all the momentum, Jack.
Yeah.
I mean, they were in a awful position. I mean, I did not think there was any chance they could have made that one interesting. I don't want to say should have won the round, but if you were looking at percentages, I would say they were favored to win that round by the way things were going, and TCM just coming up with another huge play.
Break down that final play. Seems like a little bit of miscommunication. Dito challenges the player who's going towards that site. Llama just runs away. If Llama's there and he just pushes aggressively with that sub, he picks up that kill. It's 4-4. Instead, played a little bit more passively, ran back. TCM had that AR 9 times out of 10. If Llama's got to check that, there's no way he wins that gun battle from across green. 5-3. Orbit now 1 round away from going up 3-2 in this best-of-7 series.
And it's hard because, Llama God was tagged up a little bit, got away.
Exactly.
TCM knew where he was, and I think in that position, Llama God probably thought, well, if he knows I'm tagged up, he knows I got away this way, he either thinks I'm wrapping all the way through ice or I'm going to jump up top and challenge. And at that point, if he wraps all the way through ice, TCM just sits on bomb and diffuses it by the time he gets back over there. So I think that's probably the right play from Llama God. We're on board with Dito, though. He's going to put down some shots, going to be able to take out accuracy. It's going to be in favor of ISO, the man advantage. It's going to be a 3v4 situation.
Oh. Who's this? Top green rails. Silly can't actually spot the door. Dito is there to pick up the kill. Now a 4-on-2. The flank coming in through middle ice. That's Vicento. He's got Llama God behind him. Now a 1-on-4. Happy last alive, but he will get this bomb down. So still a chance. Still a chance, to say the least. Do I think it's going to happen? Hell no.
No, and I'm very confused why ISO is not just all flooding the A bomb site right away. They're at guys cross map. Havoc's going to win the gunfight. Doesn't matter.
They wanted to let him plant.
Yeah, I wanted to let him plant. It's a little bit weird, but they're going to win the round. Make it 5-4, but you're still looking at that previous round, Jack. They would have won that one. They're on the brink of, taking this map right now.
Matt, if the pattern continues, then Orbit's closing out this round 6-4. But you never know. Throughout this whole game, they've always kept it up by about 1 to 2 rounds.
What does ISO decide to do here?
Right now, the aggression from Llama is paying off. I'd love to see them just hit a site, play it like a team.
I'd love to see them hit ice here.
Looks like
right?
they're going to send 2 players towards mid-bio and play it a little bit more passively.
It's a little bit of a crazy call. I would like to see them hit ice. I mean, we've seen OG at other events. They've done some interesting things on like Solar. Happy's going to pick up the easiest kill of his life. He's going to get traded right away. But I think in a round like this, you would have caught them completely off guard if you would have pushed ice. And Llama God's going to pick up a kill. It's going to be a 3v2 here. Vicento and Accuracy have a tough spot to work out of, especially because Vicento still has this sniper rifle in his hand. And outside of one round, he hasn't done much. Silly's going to let him get away, though. Just going to walk right down ice. What does ISO decide to do with the bomb? Do they decide to go over towards A? Do they bring it back towards B? Accuracy is in a position where he could easily pick up 2. We've seen this so many times where, in purple, guy comes down, just picks up 1. Vicento's going to be watching the A bomb site. Right, he's in a fantastic spot. Does he pick one up? He's going to be able to pick up Llama God. So now just going to run away. And you see the pinch starting to come in. Accuracy wrapping all the way around towards blue. He's going to be behind enemy lines. He's going to see them get back on bomb. Accuracy in position to make a play. Just shoots him off the bomb site. So Now, I feel like Orbit just has to play games with ISO until the final seconds, then flood this bomb site. Silly, there's only 10 seconds left, has to get on bomb with it. Havoc's going to win a gunfight against Vicento. All accuracy has to do is kill the bomb planter and get away. Is he able to get out? All he has to do is stay alive here, Jack. Can he stay alive in accuracy with such a smart play? Gets behind those crates, stays alive. How clutch is that?
Such a close moment there. Accuracy playing that one perfectly. Knows. Check this bomb. Look at this. No hesitation. Kills the player immediately. Just darts away without even thinking. Great movement to get behind the blue crates there on that green catwalk. And, well, Orbit kept the pattern going. They'd win a round. They'd lose one. They'd win one. They'd lose one. They'd close it out. What a performance, though, from Llama. But this is what we saw in the last game. Vicento went off, absolutely dominated that hard point.
Yeah.
And his team lost. This time around, it was Llama, 14-6, 2.33 KD, with 3 plants and a defuse, literally doing everything for his
It's a
team.
monster game in
And
S&D.
they lose 6-4.
It's a monster game in S&D. That last round, though, you talk about, we see, I feel like a lot at even the pro level where you just run out of time. I mean, players play so slow trying to figure things out. No, in that last few seconds, Silly doesn't get on bomb till 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
I mean, all accuracy had to do is just kill him, just jet away.
Do exactly what he
do
did.
exactly what he did, stay alive. And
Yeah.
it just puts your team in such a bad position. There's at that point for ISO, there's one way you win the round. It's like when you limit yourself to not a lot of options and just you'd rather just go in there right away and just lose.
And
honest.
there, if he has an AR right there, he gets that kill. If we're being honest with each other.
Who?
In that final where he's trying to chase down accuracy and put those long-range shots in,
Oh.
he missed a few with the ASM1, and accuracy was able to get away. He would have had a better shot.
Yeah, if he has a ballot.
If he has a ballot,
he
he's got a
has a
better
ballot,
shot.
probably kills him.
Yeah, so
I'd agree
right
with
there,
that.
accuracy sneaking away, able to clutch out that round for Orbit. So many engagements like that where it's
Oh.
down to a one-on-one, and it goes in Orbit's favor. ISO losing a search and destroy. We're now going to hop into comeback uplink after this quick commercial break.
Welcome back, everybody. Mistrix joined by Courage. Orbit, 1 game away from taking the series versus Isolation. We're going to be going into a comeback uplink. Jack, got to get your thoughts.
Honestly, we both said earlier we thought this is a map that Isolation can win after that shaky last game when really those clutch moments weren't going in their favor. I don't know what to believe anymore. This series has been great through and through, really, outside of that game number 2 where Isolation has really had their way with Orbit on that solar S&D. Heading into this one, though, going to be the boys of Isolation on the less preferred side.
These teams are so evenly matched.
Oh my God! I mean, you said it from the beginning. It seems like all their gun skill is even. Every single game, it's been very close. Outside of that one S&D, at the start of this one though, no special plays coming in from either of these teams. We'll get that game sound on for you. First 3 kills, though, going in favor of Orbit.
I mean, they have a very good chance of putting on some points here. He's going to be happy with the drone, going to
Nice
throw
ball.
it over the building. I like the idea to just take the guaranteed points there at the start of the game. It's funny, it's like, it puts pressure on ISO in the sense that, I mean, everybody who's played competitively or on a team knows that if you get scored on within the first 30 seconds, your teammates are going to get a little flustered. They're going to start questioning things right off the bat, a little bit frustrated. Obviously, ISO just lost that S&D. It's a very good start for Orbit.
Yeah, right now they're continuing with the pressure. Accuracy going to go for the 1-point toss. Will the pick come in? No, that does fall just short. Vicento's there for the dunk. That is why it's great to have someone on that
With
flank
this start,
through
Jack,
the
I
area.
could see an Orbit blowout.
Really?
I
Well,
could
this is the
potentially
first
see
chance
it.
they've actually had some control of glass. So Isolation should be able to get in at least a 1-point play. How is Llama not died?
He's it's going to fall in,
Okay,
so they're going to
okay.
get one. But no, I feel like ISO is a team where things could get a little volatile when things aren't going their way, especially with the way they just lost the S&D. Now, I mean, they're going to, looks like, put 2 scores in, or at least they're going to
Attempt to.
Dito's going to throw the drone and then try and loop all the way around. It's not enough time to make that play individual. And drone's just going to be reset. It's going to go back on glass side. But I feel like ISO is a team that things don't go their way exactly in the first half. Things from the previous map carry over. I feel like things could unravel pretty quick.
Right there was an example of what Havoc is capable of doing with his movement. Getting aggressive inside glass, picks up 1 kill. That gives his team control of the map.
Yeah,
They were able to clear it out. They pick up that drone and dunk it into the 2-point play. They do still have control of yellow. Who is that across the map? That was actually Silly, who just died. He was a monster.
Yeah, I mean,
Probably
ISO does
wrong
a
on
great
this
job
game,
kind of, I don't want to say regaining composure, because
That's
we
exactly
were
what they did.
a minute 30 into the game, but still, I mean, Orbit had a very good first minute, and then after that, it's been all Isolation. Drone's going to drop on top of AC. Vicento's trying to fight this with an SMG. That is a very tough gunfight to win. Havoc on the flank, trying to pick up a kill.
Okay, Havoc. Okay.
Going to be able to finish him off. They can get this drone. They could potentially get a play, 1-point play here, but it's going to get cut down. Drone should reset here any second. They're actually able to keep it alive, so Havoc's going to pick it up. Gets it in the base, going to put it in for 1. Fantastic play right there out of Havoc.
We said it looked like it could become a blowout for Orbit. Well, it's been just that after ISO was able to recover. It's because of map control, really. They were able to get control of the drone area, and they've done a lot with it. 4 uncontested points. The likes of TCM trying to stay alive, and Matt, yes, he's 10-8 right now. Still no AR in his hands. We'll see if he winds up switching later in the game.
They did a great job not freaking out.
Yeah.
Like the first few plays went all in Orbit's favor.
Okay.
After that,
That was a big
that's a
kill by
huge kill
Dito.
right there by Dito.
And actually, the spawn, too. The spawn actually came in for Llama, back blue, so they would have been able to at least contest it a little bit longer. But if Dito doesn't pick up that kill, that leaves Llama in the 1 versus 2.
Ooh, he could have got a 2-point play there, I think.
Yeah. That's like
I
one
mean,
of those where if he waited an extra second.
It's a smart play. You can't really fault him for it, but, I mean, because you're relying on Dito to win that gunfight. Dito to win that gunfight, you don't get any points right there. I like the play by
There's
Llama,
another
but
1-point toss when no one was in a position to stop that. Both teams.
it's a lot easier for us to say, obviously, we have the mini-map,
absolutely.
but those are 2 potential
And now,
opportunities where you left more points on the board for your team.
does that come down to counting as a team of knowing exactly how many players are up in either part of the map? Like, okay, there's still 1 or 2 in our
counting
base.
spawns, like spawn times in this game, I feel like is a lot harder because
There's
of
just so
how
many.
fast it's going, and then obviously Uplink I think is a huge like team-based game mode, right?
Yeah.
There's so much teamwork that goes involved to it. It's not kind of like Hardpoint where you don't, it's not as important to count
Well, it's
spawns.
When you think of game modes where you count spawns a lot,
It's like
Uplink
capture the flag.
and CTF.
Yeah.
Right there. That's the 2.
And I think this one, it's a lot harder too because it's a lot more fast-paced than a CTF. CTF a little bit slower. You can have a player on your team count spawns. In a game mode like Uplink, you need to be focused on where the drone is and where your players are all the time. You don't have enough time for one player to be thinking about timing spawns.
You can't throw a flag across the map.
No, yeah. And Havoc tried to get it down green side. He's going to get cut down. Can Dito pick it up? He's going to actually stuck one player. Does he try to just jump around him? Teammate picks it up, not
Another
able to
missed
put in
toss
that
from
1-point play. That would have been just a nice little addition on a good first half for ISO.
Yep.
And it looks like they're going to get a
Oh, they're
2-point play out
actually
of it.
in. Okay.
Yeah.
So, well,
Yeah, it works for them, Jack.
who are we to judge him for missing
Nobody.
a second 1-point toss in the game? TCM doing all he can to stay alive. ISO maybe with 1 more shot, going for the 1-point toss. Not looking like it though. Accuracy tries to run away with it bottom middle. TCM not able to get away. A nice 2-piece from Silly. And Isolation's going to close out side number 1 of this comeback Uplink. The less preferred side up 7-4.
I mean, I'm going to be looking at accuracy. You got to 6 and 18.
Oh God,
Second
I
half.
didn't realize.
Yeah, second half he's got to come up big, and we saw him make a few big plays in S&D. He's up and down. I feel like sometimes the team puts him in bad situations like that. Like when you're playing like that, I mean these guys are all amazing players. A lot of it sometimes is not your own doing. It's like the spots you're fighting out of on the map and where everybody's kind of coming from and dealing with like different players, right? I mean, there's opportunities where he could be fighting 2 players in glass. He's not going to pick up any kills right there. So right there, even off the start, right, 2 of his teammates die. He's an AR top glass. He's not going to be able to win one of those gunfights. Drone's going to go in the hands of Dito.
That's a great start
ISO,
to side number 2.
Yeah, ISO gets a great start, and it looks like they have control of the orbit base. Let's see if they can win some gunfights out.
I'd love to see Silly try to play his life here and do all he can to stay alive in the drone area. But when Llama is picking up 2 pieces of the opposing team's base, he doesn't even have to worry about his life. If he dies there, he's still got the help he needs. Llama moving across the map with ease. Havoc with this drone looks like he's setting himself up for another 1-point toss. Multiple players in a position to pick it. They're not going to do it. So already 2 points, just 45 seconds into the side number 2, and Silly continues to lock down top AC control.
And Silly and Dito doing a great job just disrupting the push by Orbit. Dito picking up 2 huge kills there. It's going to be Drone in control of ISO yet again. If Havoc gets over this wall, has an opportunity to get a 2-point play, has a teammate directly in front of him, going to go for 1. ISO just plays so safe, and it works, obviously. I mean, they're just playing the percentages, right? Just keep hitting those 1-point plays, keep drone control.
Scary.
Yeah, this could potentially be something where they just start rallying in 2-point plays, but gonna keep going for 1s.
Already 4.
I mean, at this point,
plays.
they don't really need to do something crazy like force 2 and then have
Everyone
go down,
yeah.
and then Orbit go on the offensive and rally some. I mean, they just keep knocking down 1-point plays and keep control of the drone. I mean, this is gonna end up resulting in a blowout.
No, I completely agree with you on that one, Matt. Finally, map control going over to Orbit. This should be a very easy 2-point play. So, through the first minute and 20 seconds, 4 1-point tosses in from ISO. After 10 seconds of map control, Orbit's able to dunk it in. Still a 3-possession game, though, with 3 minutes remaining.
Yeah, I was just watching the map as that went on, because looked like Dito wrapped all the way around through green, through the Orbit spawn, and then back towards glass, and it looked like his 3 other teammates pushed out green side back to their own base. So that's how they were able to get control of drone again. Dito looks like he's going to go for a 1-point play, gonna knock it down. Happy not even trying to intercept it. He's just going to try and pick up kills because he needs to get these guys out of his base.
Yeah, that's
ISO, I feel like, has been living in Orbit's base this second half.
every single point they've scored on side number 2 has been a 1-point play. That's now 6, and there's still 2.5 minutes
Well, that top
remaining.
AC throw you can do so fast.
And they haven't even had to utilize that yet.
No,
they've
been
utilizing
jumping in front blue,
the
yeah.
blue build. That's the first time we've even seen someone come close to doing it. Llama going for another 1-point toss. That connects. That's 7 1-point tosses in the first 2.5 minutes. I'd love to see a COD stat. I feel like that could be up there for the most we've seen in just one side of a game in a competitive match.
I mean, Orbit hasn't been able to get any control of their base back. I mean, even when you see them get 2 dead, I feel like ISO just picks up like a 2-piece and then gets the drone back, and you're going to pick up another 1-point play. Unbelievable here. Just a great display. Llama with 10 uplinks here, 21 and 21. He's played out of his mind in this one.
This is what happens when you don't get greedy as a team in Uplink. Yes, there's times where you say, oh, they could have easily gotten a 2-point there. This time around, Matt, you've said it. They've controlled the base the entire time.
They're converting points every time they touch the drone.
Exactly. And there's no reason to force a 2-point play. They're up by 9.
Right.
Just keep tacking on that lead. Make it tougher and tougher. It went from a 3-possession game to now being, what, a 5-possession game because they're up by 9? That is not a spot that you want to be in if you're the boys of Orbit. 5 possessions in the last minute and a half where you need 4 dunks is almost a perfect final 90 seconds if you want to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't ask for a better setup for ISO to win this one.
Yeah, and they're going to toss us out for 15. They're putting on a show right now inside number 2.
A minute to go, Jack.
We're going to a game 7.
We're going to a game 7. First one of the weekend, I believe.
Yep. And, I mean, would you expect it any different? Llama has 10 points. I'd argue that probably 8 of those 10 points are from 1-point tosses.
Oh,
if not all 10 of them.
Without a doubt. I actually didn't get the catch denial versus Epsilon. How did that one end?
Epsilon won 4-2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
wow.
so Epsilon took that. So now that we have some time, obviously this one's over.
Yeah, this one's over.
Talking about that denial versus Epsilon series, did you see that outcome coming at all, or
well, I was on analysis pre-game it.
Okay.
Nope.
I thought they had
yeah, that's the first time that they've successfully picked it off, but I thought that Epsilon had a chance I thought they had a real good chance if they won the first 2.
Yep.
I thought they had a fighting chance if they split the first 2. They ended up splitting the first 2 maps, and they looked pretty good on the first one, and then they just looked impressive after that. I mean, they've always looked good on land, that Epsilon team.
Yeah.
Even with Swanee.
That was their strong point.
Online, they're just...
And I mean,
yeah.
you think of it. Swanee always mentioned the communications online versus on land were two
Like night and
completely
day.
different games. We're night and day.
Yeah, it's going to be a
It's the
two-point
same
play
thing
by
on
Dito.
land by Parasite for Parasite on that squad. Something to point out in this game though: accuracy, 16 and 33, 0 caps to his name. Really a non-factor in that game 6.
Yeah, needed everybody to bring it there for Orbit. You know, these closeout games are so hard.
Yep.
I mean, and now going into this game 7, it's a little
my
bit of a
gosh.
toss-up.
This one has been great.
What's the map,
silly.
Jack?
Game 7, Detroit S&D.
Ooh.
This is one
We've
where...
seen ISO do some nice stuff on Detroit.
And something to point out, what I love about Detroit, it's a search and destroy where really you can see anything get pulled out. We've seen LMGs be pulled out on this map with Thermal. We've seen, obviously, very aggressive pushes through green. We've seen the plays inside of blue, how controlled us to get that first gunfight inside hospital. Anything can happen. Moors are definitely going to get pulled out on this map. Do not go anywhere. Game 7 after this quick commercial break.
Welcome back, guys. Game 7
Oh,
about to begin. Detroit S&D. You're just joining us. ISO Orbit. Fantastic series. 2 really even match teams. Mr. X joined by Jack. Prediction.
going in this
It all
one,
comes down to one map. I mean,
I'm going to be honest with you. I think Isolation are going to take it.
really.
I think this is a map that Havoc just excels on. He's very good at Riot, but he's also very strong in this map. The big gunfights to watch out for is inside that middle blue building, inside Hospital. Zuma is one of the best in the game at winning that gun engagement. A lot of times he'll just pre-fire his opponent before he runs in from that closet area. Off the start of this one, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to be on board with the defensive side to see how Havoc starts this round number 1. It looks like he's already getting aggressive towards blue. Oh, but he slowed down. And look at this. They have nobody in a position to stop the push into school except for, who's that over there? That's Dito sitting inside lockers.
I think they're gonna
Get this with ease.
they're gonna give it up and just
Do you
play
agree
from
with
afar.
this?
I mean,
or
it's a weird nade to throw at the beginning, and I believe Dito just spotted accuracy cross. You see one player coming across. It's gonna be silly to help Dito out. Now it's gonna be a 3-on-2 over here at school.
try to pre-fire that
Yeah, it's a
window area?
it's one you're really not gonna kill somebody with. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe you scare somebody, put some hit markers in, but accuracy crosses on the bomb.
Now, will this play?
They have to know he is on bomb. Dito just got a hit marker with that stud. So a 4v4 situation, bomb down. Don't see this too often. See how ISO decides to retake this.
You can see multiple one-on-one and gun engagements about to happen. Accuracy picks up first blood. The challenge coming in. He gets a second as well. Gun battle's about to happen in middle map. That's going to be Havoc picking up one. It's now a 2-on-3. The bomb is down. Time is against the boys of Isolation. Orbit
Still a decent amount of time.
should be able to close up this round number 1 unless Llama turns up Vicento. He's not able to do it. Accuracy's there. He will close it out, a 3-kill and a bomb plant from Accuracy in round number 1.
Big offensive win and good round from Accuracy. It's nice to see him kind of get his confidence back.
Yeah.
I mean, if anyone really needed to start off well here for Orbit, it was Accuracy after that last map. So good to see him kind of get back on track. As Orbit takes the first round on offense. That's a huge win.
A little weird. Typically, you see 2 players set up inside lockers. There, it was Dito by himself. Didn't have the teammate there to trade the kill. Round 1 going over to the boys of Orbit. They do not want to lose this series in Game 7. Neither of these teams do, but Orbit, man, this has been one that's been so back and forth off the start of this round. Looks like a slow play from Isolation yet again.
Yeah, it was Dito mid-street just trying to gain information, but ISO going to be pushing over towards A with the bomb. Dito had him on my screen. He had a hit marker on a guy at B, so now they know one player is going to be playing in B site.
Just got spotted, too.
You probably know there's another player playing in the back of school, so you know that A has only maybe one player in green, another player in that back alley watching mid-street. Should be an easy push here for ISO.
Vicento doing all he can to lock down that green alley with the Moors. Look at how stationary all the boys of Orbit have been. They haven't even moved. Vicento putting some shots down. Not connecting with the bullet on Silly, but the push into green has started. Did Havoc get spotted? I don't believe so because Accuracy pulled back. So he gave up green room control. Yeah, he has no idea he's there. Havoc, though, hasn't turned around and picked up the kill.
They are right next to each other.
Oh, yeah. Thankfully for Silly, Havoc drew the attention from Accuracy. Silly picked up the free kill. It's now a 3-on-2. TCM in middle map picks up 1 kill. The challenge coming in from Havoc. He wins the gunfight. It's now a 2v1. TCM now in the 1-on-1, trying to run away. 13 seconds left.
He boost slams and gets behind that trailer.
You never know. You never know what could happen. He might
have been able to get away, kind of like Accuracy on Biolab.
That was so many trades coming in. Havoc, though, 4-1 off the start. 3 kills. That's what I expected out of him in this game number 7.
Yeah, I mean, Havoc.
Game 7.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I love best of 7. I think it's great, by the way. Havoc, we've seen him do crazy stuff on this map before.
Yeah.
Really, starting off hot, 4-1. I mean, look at the rest of the scores from ISO. Not pretty thus far, but he'll still
really
tied at 1 apiece. Now you see they're changing their defensive strategy. Going to put 2 players over at B. Silly picking up a snipe right off the rip. Couldn't ask for a better start for ISO.
And it's kind of funny. I got to say, I like the RW1 secondary. If he
it's
plays
different.
Himself, it catches players off guard. He's really the only one I've seen use it through every single time he's got that Moors out. But on maps like Riot and Solar, there are those different areas where you can catch your opponents off guard because you have like basically a mini shotgun in your pocket. If you get in a close range area, you can one-shot anyone who challenges you. The push into green happening. Vicento hasn't been spotted as of yet. He's inside closet. I think a call did come in. Havoc ready to pick up the kill.
Llama was in a great position to make a play. Accuracy just runs in and takes him out. So
makes it look easy.
Yeah, Havoc just kind of locking them down inside green. Let's go on board, Jack, with Silly. What is Silly doing in the mid street with the sniper rifle? He's just gonna be looking across. Thought he spotted someone. He's gonna put his shot down. Not able to connect. I don't think he knows 2 players to his right. Havoc really coming up big for him here.
Look where the bomb's down at. It's all the way down by that trailer. It's now a 2-on-2. Hopping back on board, but Silly misses a shot for TCM. He's just trying to stay alive. 14 seconds left. The challenge coming in from right behind him. His teammate's there for the kill. Now it's a 1-on-1. TCM versus Havoc. Havoc trying to stay alive. This time, though, TCM gets the better of him. 2-1 Orbit. They're back in the lead.
Havoc was on a 5 streak at the time.
Yeah,
so
6-2.
Playing really well here in Detroit S&D. TCM making a big play here. Almost clutched that 2v1 the previous round. Yeah. Now wins that 1v1 engagement there to put them up 2-1.
If TCM wins that 2v1, it's now 3-0 in favor of Orbit.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, though, ISO doing all they can to stay alive. And look at that. Dito, the man who led his team in that game to S&D with over 10 kills, sitting at 0-3. He needs to heat up if Isolation want to have a chance at winning.
If you're Orbit, I would have liked to see them do something where they get really aggressive on the defensive side. Yeah. I thought that would have been a really nice change up here. And Vicento tries to get aggressive in Hospital. He's going to get taken out, but there's another player in there. So even though Vicento dies, they do gain a little bit of map control. I think Accuracy's in a great spot to pick up a kill.
Oh, yeah. Did he spot Havoc coming in? Yes, he picks up 1. The second player now beginning the challenge. He's just trying to stay alive, dancing around the bullets, but Dito takes him down for his first kill of the game. It's a 2v3. TCM and Happy up against Silly, Dito, and Llama. What would you like to see the boys on Isolation do with this bomb?
I mean, obviously I can see the map. I'd like to see them bring it to B, but I think A probably would have been the right call.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit easier to just get it down safely, but now they can just strong arm and Happy. Happy almost wins that
was a
second
sick
fight.
play
That
call.
would have been really bad for ISO.
He knows how good isolation is. When they challenge one player, they have the second.
He knew exactly he was going to get challenged right away.
He immediately just spins and pre-fires fire. He has no idea he's there. One more bullet, and he picks up the kill on Llama. But that round, one thing to keep watch on, Matt. Happy and Llama and Dito both pick up their first kill of the game. We'll see if that begins to give them that little bit of confidence we talked about all the way back in game number 1.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Confidence is so huge when it comes to just competitive FPS, and we're going to see Orbit bring the bomb into Garage. Neither team really going with any fast pushes.
Yeah, especially ISO. I expected more out of it from ISO.
I feel like the map's so spread out that if you do hit a bomb site quick, I mean, let's say you hit B quick and you gain control of it, somebody rotating from A has to go through the mid-street or wrap all the way around through Garage through your own base. And even then, they kind of have to cross through mid-street anyway. It is so hard to rotate to bomb sites on this map. I feel like it's a lot harder to rotate from A to B as opposed to B to A.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot more. Because A, if you're planning at A, you can't really see cross-map because Hospital's there, obviously. But I think if you just try and fast plan at B, you can really cause some trouble for the defense.
Well, it looks like the push is now beginning. Dito, the player alive inside school window. The challenge coming out of Accuracy. Accuracy puts some shots down on him. He wins that gunfight. Now it's up to Silly to try to stop this push towards the B-bomb site. The challenge coming in from TCM. He puts some shots down. Both players staying alive. Beautiful stun. That's going to stop the aggression momentarily from Accuracy. Buys his teammate enough time to get towards lockers with him. Love this play from Silly. His AR continuing to put down shots, but TCM pre-fires. Havoc's got to play his life. They've gained control of school. It's now a 3-on-2 Accuracy getting the plant down.
Llama got killed one on the flank while that was going on, so it's 3v2. I don't think they have any idea where Llama is.
Putting some shots down on TCM. Ooh. TCM just ripped him in half. Oh my goodness. That's going to leave Havoc in the 1-on-3. Havoc obviously leading his
team. It's like Havoc said he wanted to do it again, but
not able to do it.
Not able to do it that time.
TCM, man, what a round from him. Picks up that first kill on Silly, then wins that gunfight towards middle Atlas, and then here continues to pre-fire this lockers area yet again. Read him like a book. 7-2 start from him, triple positive. The Salmon swimming upstream.
If you're Orbit, you win this round. Obviously, you go 4-2.
Yeah.
I think the next offensive round, you do something fast. You
Crazy.
haven't done, unlike
guard.
any of the maps they played on S&D thus far, they haven't done anything fast whatsoever. I think ISO, you may even see like a fast rush towards green here as well.
Well, it looks like they're favoring this A-bomb
yes,
site.
Play slow again.
Vicento trying to spot anyone Garage. Like this decision to rotate. He spotted nobody. Tries to see if he can kill the player pushing towards middle street with those nades. So far, no positions have been revealed from Isolation, but the boys of Orbit have gotten a little bit of info with Vicento's Moors. As of right now, did Havoc spot Accuracy inside green? It doesn't appear so, but you've got to expect him to be there. He's been there all game long.
I saw stun go down when we were on with Vicento into green, so they have to know one player's in there, so we're going to see a smoke come out. They're going to get on bomb right away.
Smoke with cold-blooded, so this is obviously a setup thing. This is ISO trying to pull out some strategies, try to get some things going in their favor.
Yeah, because they know Vicento's just sitting back there with the Moors and that thermal trying to block this off. Llama wins a big gunfight. He's going to challenge the second player, but he's bringing the bomb straight into the middle of the street, Jack. I don't know about that play. This might be a round that Orbit, I don't want to say gets lucky, but they get fortunate because it seemed like Llama just got a little bit careless there.
Vicento's able to rotate towards middle street. He's somehow still alive. Shots continuing to go down on him, and he just hit the shot on Havoc. Oh my goodness, Vicento! If he got 2 kills there,
that would have been
just magical. That's the only word to describe it.
I mean, ISO's still able to win the round, but yeah, that's silly. I mean, he keeps going towards Hospital. He has a chance.
Yeah.
Right? He probably gets away.
Yeah, he just tries to dart back. Dito's there on the flank, 3-3, Matt. If this series goes to a game 7, man, then neither team deserves to
if
lose.
you're Vicento, you probably think the person behind you has either picked up the bomb and headed towards B or is about to be on bomb. So that's immediately where he looked, and Dito just on top trailer.
Matt, break this down for me. 4 players already going towards A. They decide to slow it down again. All signs of them getting aggressive. But nope, they decide to pull back.
Well, Cilia for ISO is going to be watching the cross. So he saw one grenade go over towards B, but you don't
They've given up sight.
They've given it up completely. And oh, Jack, you know why?
Why?
You got Llama with 2 nades, and you got Dito with 2 nades as well. They're going to plan on trapping them in there and just trying to nade this out. But
Well, I'm going to hop on board with accuracy to see what this looks like from his perspective. His trophy system's gone.
Yeah.
That's something to point out. Typically, when you make this push happen, you use your trophy to get control of fire. Now the nades begin to come in. Accuracy doesn't get hit by the first. Dino chucks out one, doesn't get hit by the second. The challenge coming in from Havoc. There's that aggression that you expect. The pre-fire coming in from both players. Dino's able to pick him up. Facento now at the jump wall. He spots Silly inside fire. The bomb is being defused right now by Dino. Will he spot the player? Yes, he does. Facento clutching up for his team. It's now a 1v1. Llama versus Facento. He doesn't have enough time. He's just going to hop on the bomb. Facento should get this with ease. What a round from Facento for his team. Single-handedly winning that round for Orbit.
Huge play by Facento.
Huge play.
I understand what ISO was trying to do there.
Yeah.
And it took me a while because I'm cycling through the classes, but I saw, you know, they had a lot of nades on players. They were going to try and just get that one player off of bomb site because I think they thought, okay, if we give it up, we kill accuracy on bomb, we can get in there now, right? Because they were only playing him in the site. There's nobody else for Orbit in the site. They figure they get in there, then they're going to have these AR players kind of dart in there, try and make a crazy play happen. It actually works to what they were doing, but then Facento just comes out with some amazing plays.
Oh, just game-changing, really. Instead of it being 4-3 for ISO, it's now 4-3 for Orbit. ISO now back on offense. They haven't had much success with this so far this game. Happy playing aggressively towards middle Atlas. He's just going to back up and play his life. First blood coming out of Dino. That's a nice gunfight win in Middle Street.
Yeah, it's quickly traded, though. Happy's going to be able to pick Dino up. Lamagod going to pick up a kill, though, on Happy. He's going to have the bomb yet again, and he plays very aggressive with the bomb.
Yeah.
You usually don't see a lot of bomb carriers leading the way and being as aggressive as him. Havoc going to be in mid-Atlas. Looks like they're going to all try and flood into B from different directions.
No idea he's here.
No.
Oh, but he put some shots in Facento. Might have been some panic shots.
They're
He's got Havoc there in the back. Facento hits the hit marker, but it's not enough. 4-4.
We're going to go to a Game 7, Round 11?
I don't
Is that
know.
what we're about to do
I've
here,
been
Jack?
casting this series since I was 13 years old, it feels like. I feel like this has gone on for 2.5 hours.
I mean, they're very developed 14-year-old Jack.
Hey, it's been 8 years apparently because right now, Llama, 4 streak, now 8-5. Llama and Havoc have been difference makers in this series so far.
Yeah.
And right now, they're doing it yet again, leading their squad.
Let's go on board with offense. I want to see what's going on the offensive side.
Which player? Which player?
Let's go on with accuracy.
Okay.
Let's see what the bomb carrier's going to do. Looks like they're just going to do split and play slow again, so not going to see another fast push. And TCM is throwing the same stun over towards B every time they've gone here. And it looks like accuracy and TCM going to play the same game over in fire window yet again.
This time, big thing to note, accuracy kept his trophy. He's been noticing that they don't try to contest his bomb site. Now he's kept the trophy on. He'll have it for when they try to break in.
Yeah, well, Dito still has 2 nades, just like the last time this was set up. And it looks like Llama has nades
alive.
as well. So the accuracy
all the way
stays
up the flank.
alive. I mean, that's huge. Vicento's going to pick up 1. Dito's going to get a nade kill. Llama's going to pick up 1 as well. Now
Oh
the
my
plan
God, Llama
working
just
in
destroyed Happy.
ISO's favor, and that is
Oh my
silly.
goodness! Llama just destroyed the opposing player. He's on a 6th streak. And Matt, there is an example of a momentum swing. ISO now in the lead.
Well,
They are one
ISO
round
probably
away.
felt like they should have won their last defensive round playing that way as well, right? They
Yeah.
get control of the site, and then Facento just makes an incredible play.
Hero play.
They go back to the same thing again on defense. Now on offense, you have 1 round to play with, so to speak. Do you try anything aggressive here, or do you just play that slow play style you've been doing?
Well, they switched Facento off the Moors, so obviously they had a communication there. We don't want
They're
Bryce to
gonna
have
push
that anymore.
A.
They're going to get very aggressive towards Green Alley. There's 3 players there to stop them. That's a decision where you need if you're going to do something like that, you need your whole team on board.
You need 3 players
Yeah,
over there. You
they're
can't
just
push
setting
that
2.
out with 2 guys. Llama's going to win another gunfight, a 7 streak for
Oh
Llama here
my
at
goodness.
the end, and it's going to be Isolation Esports winning this one
Havoc
in
gets
Game
up.
7. Havoc is so
He gets up and
hyped.
yells, "I'm the best" at the top of his lungs. Finishes
Yeah,
that game
his
11-7.
teammate's pretty good. His teammate's pretty good.
Yeah, Llama, a combined 10 streak, man. That's what they point out between Llama, Havoc, and Silly. Happy 3-9. You mentioned him all series long.
Just ran out of gas a little bit, man.
Yeah.
This 7-game series is a long time.
And
And Llama just goes crazy those last few rounds.
Accuracy, you got to feel for him, doing all he could in that objective
Oh.
play style. Always
All
getting
series
the
long.
bomb down, really just kind of being a sacrificial lamb where he's the first one to go in and most times the first one to die. But outside of that one, Isolation winning that series.
Yeah,
Big win overall.
I think if you're Orbit, you probably, that last round didn't work out the way you were planning it. I think you needed to send 3 guys, maybe even 4, and just push
Maybe
straight
3
through to the
Green
spawn
Alley and 1 through Blue, one
through
the
hospital or something
yeah.
like that. I think you look back, though, I think where they probably look back and second guess this is on the offensive side of things, where they played really slow.
Yeah.
And I feel like if they would have played fast, they could have taken advantage or catching ISO off guard. I mean, they were playing so far away at B, you could have potentially pushed all the way through school and went back trailer. You would have killed Dito. You would have caught him off guard at least once, right?
That's all
and then you gain complete map control. I think that's really where Orbit probably going to second guess themselves.
That was really a questionable decision because you think about it too. The 2 players were in pit. They weren't even near their side of the map. Even if they were in a position to trade the kills, there was just really no strategy behind it in my eyes. It wasn't paying off.
The 2 guys in pit were going to push into garage. They were going to push both sides.
Okay,
but
even
how
at that
many
point,
times on
how long does that take?
But on Detroit S&D, you think about it from an offensive perspective.
Yeah.
How many times do you split up 2 and 2? It's usually like
That's what I'm saying.
Like it's usually maybe one person
on the flank and the 3 towards green that we were talking about.
or it's something where 2 guys in pit going into school, 1 guy in garage, 1 guy mid Atlas. They're mostly on stacking one side of the map. Really odd call there.
That was weird. I think we can all agree on that, and viewers at home too. That's going to do it for a great Game 7 series. Up next, we have Elevate versus Epsilon. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.